Hey everyone, old school Pokemon here, back again with our first ever live stream podcast episode number 37, joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan. How we doing tonight, or this afternoon, I guess?
I'm doing great, and I got my burner account at the ready, apparently. So, Catch 'em all, Dan, burner account, start already, slacking. So I'm heckling ourselves with my burner account already. So I'm doing solid over here. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing well. I'm excited for our first ever live stream. It's gonna be good. I'm curious to see how many people will actually get in this live.
Yeah, I'm really curious too, and I don't have my phone at the ready to or no, wait, I do have it over here. Here we go. Still figuring out this whole OBS thing. I've got 50 windows going. Slacking.
Well, we got 21 people watching now. Oh, it just dropped down to 20.
They probably just got a. I think they just got a quick echo because I just pulled up the stream. Anyone else lagging? Yeah, let us know. Is the audio good? How's the relative sound? Me versus Nick. Do either one of us need to be louder or quieter? We're lagging. Hopefully, that sorts itself out.
Oh,
But,
maybe turn off your Discord video.
Oh, am I still streaming that?
You are.
Apologies for that. I was streaming the screen to Nick in Discord, so hopefully that'll iron itself out. Yeah. It wasn't my 50 tabs that had it open. It was that I was streaming to YouTube and streaming to Nick on Discord while we were testing beforehand. So that should that should get better in about a minute. Yeah, it's better now, not lagging. Okay, sorry for that.
Awesome. Blame Dan's internet for that one.
Yeah, Nick's gonna let us go 3 hours. I'm gonna be dual streaming to YouTube and to Discord, and then he'll tell me at the end of it. Glad we caught that 3 minutes in and not 3 hours in. But yeah, this is the new and improved PokeFlipz now live. Off the bat, we've got a little bit of good news. Our solo streams, we always like to announce who our next guest is. So Nick, if you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest.
Yeah, so next, or 2 weeks from now, our special guest for episode number 38 is going to be Charlie Collects on Instagram. You guys probably know him. He's big in the hobby. He used to run the U.S. division of Ludkins, and then what turned into Polaris Grading, but he stopped doing that. So super excited to have him on for next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it'll be scheduled ahead of time as this was. It'll be the 25th. I believe we're gonna do 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. He's a family man like myself, and I think we're gonna be butting up against picking up a kid from daycare. So familial obligations always have to come first. So that one will be more fixed to a rigid time frame. This one today, I'm free till 4:30 when my quitting time is. So as long as Nick's ready to hang, we're probably gonna go till 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
And I work till 6, so I'm good to go till then. Maybe we can extend Dan into some working some overtime.
Yeah, we'll have to see on that, but probably not. 3.5 hours it should be. It's 1 o'clock here now, so yeah, 3.5 hours, Panga. Not very happy with it. Oh, 2.5 hours with Charlie. Yeah, we'll be 2.5 hours with Charlie.
That might be the shortest podcast in a long time.
Yeah, could be, but quality over quantity for that one. I mean, having Charlie on as a guest, well worth it. If he only had half an hour free, I think it would be worthwhile to devote a PokeFlipz episode to even a half an hour of Charlie, and to have him for 2.5. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun for sure. And we'll be able to redeem ourselves from having Arcashine on before him.
Yeah. Before we get too deep into a backlog of questions in the live chat, we do have questions from the previous episode. I got a nice little slideshow here for us. So we'll kind of rapid fire through these, so then we could mostly just hang out with the live chat. Kind of a work in progress, figuring out how we're going to do these once a month live streams duo. The one with Charlie, I don't think we mentioned, actually, it will be live as well. That one won't be pre-recorded, that'll be live, so that'll be a lot of fun. This one wasn't a question, but last episode, we talked about the fact that Genamint, PSA's fingerprinting technology, clearly isn't being used yet, and Schmo confirmed he's graded a serialized sports card and then cracked it out and regraded it and got different grades. So not only are they not fingerprinting cards, but they're like serialized cards that you could actually manually track. They're giving those different grades too. So that answers that. Question for Dan, what are your thoughts on the current state of MetaZoo? Are you still bullish on its future success? How do you feel about counterfeit concerns and NFT ties? I'm going to have a video, self-promotion, Saturday, probably between 30 minutes and an hour, going into my full experience with the partnership program, my thoughts on the NFTs, my involvement with reselling the singles online from the UFO box breaks. So I don't want to take too much PokeFlipz time for MetaZoo. So yeah, you can find that there Saturday if you're interested. Here's another one too. Mason Campy, didn't CGC make a public statement somewhere that they changed their grading standards? Nick actually replied to this through the PokeFlipz account, but CSG formally changed their grading standards and they actually took some cards back in. You could send your cards in to get the new grades, whereas CGC basically just secretly did it and they didn't make a public announcement. And I heard that at the National, people were getting confirmation from higher ups at CGC that they are in fact grading easier to some extent. So yeah, that is what it is. Any further comments to add on that one, Nick?
No, I think you pretty much covered that one. I definitely believe CGC is grading slightly easier than before.
Yeah, and I mean, they've said it. I wish they would just make a public statement about it, because the thing is, it's not drastic. They're not grading easier than PSA all of a sudden. They're giving out multiple times more perfect 10s, multiple times more pristine 10s. But I think to some extent, people are sending in better cards too. I know anecdotally I am, because I got hit with so many 8.5s. Now I actually open my eyes and pre-grade my cards. I don't just send it with my eyes closed like I do to PSA. But yeah, let's rapid fire through these. Here's actually a good one. Red Iron Collectibles. How long were you guys net buyers in the hobby before you became net sellers? I actually really like that question.
That's a good one. For me, net buyer, the years just blend together. I would say it was 2019-ish before I started becoming a net seller versus buyer. I was selling a lot in 2018, 2019, but I was also buying a lot of stuff during that time period as well. So I would say somewhere in 2019 is when I became a net seller, because that's when I started thinking about going full time with Pokemon. Was late 2019, early 2020. It was before the big boom that happened. I started thinking about going full time and kind of planned out to do a couple more trips on the ship, save up some money to buy a house, and then go full time with Pokemon in a couple of years. Then 2020 happened, and that just kind of expedited the process. Minus buying a house. That's still the next goal.
Yeah, I got back into the hobby in 2014. I put $5,000 in, and then between 2014 and 2020, I put in no more money net, but I put in thousands and thousands of hours grinding, flipping, doing that whole thing. And the first time that I took out money from that $5,000 seed money was actually 2020, and I took out a lot. I paid off my house. I got a lot of things situated and set up for 2021 last year when I quit my job. And now every month I'm taking out money to put into 401ks, IRAs, all those things I always talk about. So yeah, I am every year into perpetuity now. Being an S corporation, I have to pay myself a salary. I guess if it ever gets to the day where I'm not making money, if I'm not profitable, I don't have to pay myself a salary. Hopefully that day doesn't come. So hopefully every year from here on out, I will be removing money from the hobby, but putting in thousands of hours. And I mentioned it in a recent live stream. I've been doing a lot of them lately, but a weird concept. Even though I'm taking money out, I'm putting so many hours in, and I'm buying at like a smaller percent of market. I'm buying at some fraction of market. In some ways, I'm almost a net buyer if you consider it like that. The value that I'm getting out of it, because I'm buying. I mean, if all goes well, I might have 2 commas in my gross sales this year. My gross buys might also have 2 commas too. So even though I'm buying in less, I'm getting more value. I'm selling above market or at market, buying below market. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's the way that I try to explain it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we have 1 or 2 more. Oh, here we go. So SDC said, Pokemon moving into a more adult theme. Will Pokemon ever start to make more adult targeted content? Even the Harry Potter movies got more adult over time, while Pokemon movies, games, etc. are still aimed at 12-year-olds. How will that affect the hobby? Love the content. One interesting thing with the Harry Potter movies, so what is it? Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and what's his name? Rupert something, I think, for Ron Weasley. The actors and actresses, they age. They're humans. So in Pokemon, what is it? Ash is always 12, right? So Ash doesn't have to age. They decided to not make him age. So in that way, the Harry Potter movies were forced for the kids to age in real life. They aged as they went through their 7 years of Hogwarts, all that stuff. And I guess the kids reading the books aged with it. Whereas, yeah, Pokemon has taken this more stance of we're always going to target the 12-year-olds, because the ones who really loved it, 20 years later, look at me, 32, even though they're targeting it for 12-year-olds, I'm still here. So I don't know if they'll ever make the shift. To me, it almost might be a better business decision to just always keep targeting those 12-year-olds. The ones who get older, and like there's enough adult ways to interact with the content, even if the content is aimed towards children. Like we grade our cards, we pay 5 and 6 or maybe 7 figures for them. We do all this market analysis. Like there's a lot of adult ways to interact with these children cardboard items. That's my take. So them staying targeted at the kids, I think it just ensures future healthier generations of like demand ahead of time. And yeah, I guess that's my take. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with you on that one. I think Pokemon's always gonna do what they've been doing in the past. Kind of focusing the anime, the games, all that stuff to younger kids. And then as those younger kids get older, just like us, they'll hopefully get back into it and kind of relive their childhood with collecting the cards and all of that stuff. But I don't think the anime or the games or anything like that'll ever change to a more adult theme.
Yeah, it just feels like if you alienate, it's like why would you stick with one group of people and then age with them when you can just keep getting that new age and then have all the subsequent people as they age from there. To me, it feels like they're making the right play, even though it doesn't feel great being the older people who you want more. And another thing too, like I don't even know what that would look like. I kind of worry.
Could you imagine? Go ahead.
I kind of worry what some of that might look like. I don't know what it would be, but are they going to make it some sappy romantic entanglements between the characters? Like I don't know if I want all the like dramedy sitcom type stereotypes and stuff coming into Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know.
Just imagine though if they did X-rated waifu cards. How much more popular would those be?
Yeah, that's a little bit when I was saying like I worry what some of that might be, and then Nick just goes out and goes for it. So yeah, that's Hopefully that never becomes a thing, because I feel like they'd really alienate a decent amount of parents buying their kids cards. Even if it was, I mean, it would be a separate product, but we don't need that.
That might be a way to get the parents into it.
Oh God. Next question. Okay, so yeah, that was actually all of them from beforehand. So now that we're done with those, now that Nick has got the spice turned up, we can go into the live chat.
Sounds good. Should we start from the beginning, or should we just I guess we could start from the beginning.
I've got the live chat on my left. I've got like where my highlights are to the right. Nick did do the hey everyone. You want to give us another hey everyone, just for anyone joining late?
You guys are making me work too hard.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, old school Pokemon here.
There we go. So there you go, Pikachu. You got the bonus one.
Pikachu. I guess it's I guess it makes sense to do the intro a couple times since I don't do my own YouTube videos anymore. This is really where you guys are getting the intro.
Yeah. How many 5-cent cards are in those boxes in the back listed on eBay right now? Tennis Wolf asked you.
None of the stuff down here is listed on eBay. These boxes mainly just have like played condition, WotC commons and uncommons that I really don't know what to do with. One of these days I'll get to them, but for now they just sit down here collecting dust.
Pikachu's pretty hyped with our choice of next guest in Charlie.
That'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that.
Here's one that I'm not like too up to speed on. Ancient Mew, do you guys think raw prices for Evolving Skies are at a low finally?
I'm not sure. Evolving Skies, that's like the one set that I didn't open anything of. Like for TCG Player, I've been opening, or I when I first started on TCG Player, I opened a lot of sets. I opened Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, and so on. But Evolving Skies was like the one set that I never opened, and that continues to this day. I've been buying more Evolving Skies boxes, like I know you have, but with the price of the sealed box, I just rather sell those as sealed versus opening any. So I don't know what the singles are going for right now.
Yeah, I haven't tracked them at all. The last set that I opened was Celebrations, and that was mostly for myself. I did quick flip some singles on eBay and did very well with that, but having just mass box broken UFO, and again, more will come on that Saturday, I opened 3,600 packs of UFO, 100 box equivalents. I've never opened that much for a Pokemon set, and I think I'm going to, not like old school Pokemon extent of 6-cent TCG Player listing singles and 99-cent eBay singles, but I might do like 4 to 6 cases of new sets as they come out, if I get them early enough, and I might play some of the $50 PSA, try to get the first one to market. I might do that moving ahead a little bit. Once or twice after being burned, maybe I'll stop. But it was really fun to open UFO like at release and be first to market with the raw singles and but yeah.
Are those still going well for you, or are they slowed down?
They are doing pretty well. I mean, I'm completely sold out of some singles. I have a box next to me that I tried getting. I wanted to get these listed on TCG Player this morning, but I didn't quite get to it. But yeah, being low list on eBay, I've sold quite a few singles, and given my partner cost, the EV is very, very high.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not gonna last. I mean, singles out of the gate with Pokemon are high, and then they come down, but same kind of things going on. I've just been updating my pricing every week.
Yep. And you have less competition with that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's not like there's 100 people listing it, but there's a dozen or less for a lot of them, I think.
That's good.
Dark Lava Lizard asks, are any of your $18 submissions in QA1-QA2 yet? Someone on Blowout Forum just posted they already had their $18 return back, completely leapfrogging the backlog plus many $30 and $50 submissions.
crazy. I haven't checked on my my $18 special, or I haven't checked at all on those submissions. Hopefully, my first one, they did the announcement on, it was like Thursday or Friday. They announced the $18 special, and my first submission I mailed out on like the day after, so Friday or Saturday. Sent it overnight mail, so hopefully it was one of the first ones that they got in, and hopefully that one will come back relatively quickly. But yeah, I haven't heard anything on mine.
I've said what first in, first out, or what FIFO means to PSA before. First in, F off. They don't use it. They don't care. They stated multiple times in different interviews and different blog posts, when they opened 30, so not even 18, when they opened 30, they said that none of the 30 would be done until the backlog was complete. Not only is that not true, because I've seen people get their 30s back, people are now getting their 18s back. I've seen a couple people in Discord, or maybe one person in Discord. I think it was, shout out Pokemon DNA. I believe it was Pokemon DNA. Got back like an obscure, maybe it was Dragon Ball Z or something, submission back at 18. It's infuriating. To hear a pot, like, I don't want to get too long. I could rant on this for the remainder of the episode, but to hear Nat Turner say, we took in way more, were his exact words, than expected at 18. Way more cards than they expected. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? It's mind-boggling. So I don't know if any of mine are in QA1 or QA2. I refuse to look. The tracker, I had a rant on that the other day, just yesterday. I had a rant on the tracker. I don't think it's real. Until you get the tracking number shipped to you, it's almost annoying how many messages and how many questions and how many comments there are. Like, oh, are you in R&D? Are you in grading? How many days between grading and QA1? How many days between QA1 and QA2? It doesn't mean anything until it's shipped. And it's not going to be shipped until it's shipped. I'm still waiting on November 2020. So there's my rant on that.
Yeah. At this point, they should just burn all the backlog submissions. Just start fresh.
I was looking this morning with a few people in Discord for my office hours. I was looking at some of my submissions that are still out there, and it's like, I would take my payout. Just give me my insured estimated value payout. I did have some Scream promos. I had some Worlds promos, like not the stamped ones, but I had some of the Champions Festivals. I had some good stuff, but I had some bad stuff too, like McDonald's promos, Bolton V's, bad stuff. This was a long time ago, and I think it's clear by now. We had a few questions from before. We don't really have any main guiding topics. Leave your questions in chat. We're probably going to be like hours behind for a while. We're 18 minutes behind this one as I read it. So yeah, just leave your questions in the comments, and we'll get to them hopefully. Oh yeah, this is special delivery Charizard. Did you get a code?
I have not gotten a code yet. I'm hoping to get one. We'll see what happens.
This guy did.
Finally got one?
I got mine last night. Yep. I placed a big order too, because I'm just I'm crazy when it comes to Pokemon Center. I ordered a shirt. I ordered a Lucario figure for my son. I don't even remember what else. It was like $180 or something. You
only have to spend 20 or 30, right?
I know, but I think that's the only code. My mom put in for a code too. So we'll see if she gets one. Maybe I have one more coming, but I'm not sure. Mr. Walrus actually asked, I know you got a lot of delivery Pikachus. I got my code yesterday. What's the best thing to order to avoid damage? Probably not what I ordered. I ordered a Lucario figure, like a nice heavy box. I heard that they might tape them to the inside of the box. Even if they're taped to the inside of the box, something like big, like a figure, could probably be like bouncing around on it. And if it gets damaged, I'm just going to take a picture of it, email them. I'd imagine they'd probably replace them, but maybe not. because when they tend to do that, people probably take advantage of that and just get bonus ones without having actually had theirs damaged.
Or I could see that turning into a mess if they offered like replacements.
Oh yeah.
Then you'd have people not only getting cards damaged, but you'd have people chasing like PSA 10 quality cards, and every time they don't get one that's like PSA 10, they'll just like fold it in half.
Yeah.
All this game damage.
I would say sitting cuties are probably relatively safe. I'm a constant sitting cutie pumper, but I never dump sitting cuties. The day that you see me list a sitting cutie for sale, you better be careful because I've got quite the stock that I could unleash on the market. But yeah, I would guess shirts, or like a single shirt with a code or with a card, I mean, would probably be fine, or a couple sitting cuties. But that's my thoughts. Joe asks us, what's your take on promoting your business on social, aka Instagram? Do you do it, and do you feel like it could be a way to grow your eBay followers and overall business?
I definitely think it is. I've been trying to get better with Instagram stories. When every week when I have auctions ending, I'll pick like 5 of the auctions that have the most amount of watchers and do Instagram stories with all those items with affiliate links to those items. I definitely need to get better about actually posting on Instagram to kind of grow my following, because actually doing Instagram posts, I'm terrible about that.
Yeah, I think it's a nice way to just have everything feed into each other. Having a YouTube, an Instagram, maybe a website, put business cards in all your eBay orders. That way you get somebody over here, you get them over there. Certain people only use Instagram. Certain people only use YouTube. I'm not doing it, but like TikTok is a thing. So, well, it's funny. I actually did create a TikTok for that short that I posted a couple weeks ago of me pulling the Charizard. So there is a Catch 'em All Collectibles TikTok now with 1 post with like 2 views. That video, it's funny, but just to demonstrate, like, and it makes sense because I have more of a following. I had no following on TikTok. I literally created it and posted. But my TikTok short got 2 views, I think. Me and my sister-in-law, probably. And my YouTube short only got like 1,000. And I have more subscribers than that. I have similar followings on YouTube and Instagram, but on Instagram, my reel, that same YouTube short as a reel, got like 7,000, 8,000 views. And I don't know how many, or if it turned into like more subscribers, more followers on Instagram, but that just shows you like the same content. Some people only exist on one or the other, and you never really know where something might take off. So kind of being everywhere is probably the way to be.
Yeah, I would definitely say Instagram's a big one. I would say Instagram's bigger than YouTube. And then business cards, that's one I forgot about. But yeah, that's another big one. Make up business cards, put a QR code with a link tree to all of your links. That goes to everyone that you're selling to. So if you're selling a lot of cards, you're sending business cards out to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I've seen the same question asked to Mason, Cardinal Gaming. And he said that he definitely gets a lot of, I think he looked at his metrics for his cardinalgaming.com. He gets a lot of redirected visits like from YouTube. So his YouTube feeds substantially into his online business, which is great to have the two work together.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And speaking of websites, I'll be getting one hopefully today's Thursday, so hopefully tomorrow it should be ready. The guy said end of the week, next week, meaning this week. But I'm having someone build me a Shopify website, so super excited about that.
Yeah, it's funny. When Nick was visiting, we talked about it at lunch on his way out. And then like 5 hours later, and mind you, the drive is like 4 hours. So like 5 hours later, he sends me a message that he was getting a website going. So I guess the long drive was enough thinking time to get you to decide to go that route.
Yeah, it's all I did on the ride home. Thought about having a website and watched one of James's Cam's lives that they were doing.
Yeah. So Preston says Don Diego crossed a PSA 3 first edition base Charizard to a CGC 6.5. Let me see if I can.
Oh, Dan, you don't want to read that one.
Let me see if I can show it here. I happen to have on my desk right now PSA 3.
I'm trying to help you out, Zard Hunter.
Yeah, I have a PSA 3 first edition Charizard. I looked it over, and on the back, like it's got a ding, it's got a bend. I'm feeling like hers got a 6.5. Mine would probably be more like a 5, but it would almost certainly be a 5 to a 6. And I have chatted though with Brad, the Zard Hunter. I'll probably go with him because I did well on the lot to begin with. But yeah, I know the play is there, and maybe he'll make it after I sell to him. Props to him if he goes for it. But I probably should be like looking on eBay for those lower grade Charizards and making some plays like that, because you can just slab optimization. You can just make like $1,000. Like why work a week of your job? Just buy a Charizard, crack it out, put it in different plastic, and then make the same amount of money. What a world we live in. Card Movers' response to that is that means CGC is a bad company. Neither scale is right or wrong. That means that the market is not very smart, is what it means, honestly, to me. Neither scale is inherently right or wrong. They're just different. So PSA will give you higher numbers at the top end. There's a lot of PSA 10s that would be CGC 9s. So that doesn't mean PSA is a bad company because they give 10s where CGC would give 9s. That just means the scales are different. What were you going to say there?
With Don Diego's Charizard, even though hers upgraded, she probably still isn't going to make much more money after all the grading fees she paid, because she did it as a in-person submission at the National for they were like $400-500.
Well, that was PSA, right? CGC probably wasn't that much.
Yeah. She did. She did PSA at the National, and then she must have mailed in to CGC.
Oh, so she had it raw. She submitted. Okay, I didn't realize she graded the PSA 3 herself.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that part of it. Yeah, and Panga, I didn't see his comment, but he actually says, no, that means they have a different grading scale. Simple as that. That's completely my take. And Peaked at Chew, yeah. Two different companies having different grading scales, that's perfectly reasonable and fine. But be aware of that. What you take away from that, like don't get hating on one or the other. Like there's no need for that. It doesn't do anything. Understand it though, as a buyer. Be a shrewd buyer. Like if you're buying the card for the card, figure out which grading scale you relate to more, where and when and why, and buy the card. Like, don't spend $6,000 because the label says 6.5 and then $3,000 because the label says 3, because they might literally be the same exact card. Figure out what you'd pay given that card, given that condition, and it should be, well, I'd pay $3,500 for the PSA 3, and in my opinion, you should pay $3,500 for the 6.5 because it's literally the same card. But yeah, that's the market. And just to say, like, the way that we're set up, Nick can only see on screen the questions at like 30 seconds after I pull them up. So I'm going to be reading all the questions just because I'm the one pulling them up, running the OBS, and just to comment on why I'm not trying to like hog all the questions, but
he's trying to steal the spotlight.
No,
it is wild. Because right now I'm watching like the YouTube live stream, like everyone else is, and the delay is pretty weird.
Yeah, and in OBS I can add a delay, but my delay is 0, so it's just like there's some inherent delay that you can't get around. The reason we were so laggy for the first 2 minutes of the stream, I was actually streaming my video to Nick through Discord. And that's why, like, I was streaming twice, and it was just killing the quality. So it would be nice if I could do that if I didn't have terrible internet. then he could see me live too. But yeah, this is just the way we gotta be. Ponga says big number equals good. That is the market sentiment for sure.
Yep.
So here's one from Reed. Best place to buy booster box cases that aren't from a distributor. Starting tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month. Oldschoolpokemon.com, maybe?
Yes, I just I ordered 2 of most cases, booster box cases from my distributor, and I'm gonna set those aside. I just got them in the mail today, so whenever my website's done, those are gonna be the first things that I get listed on there. So yeah, buy them off of oldschoolpokemon.com. Aside from that, just lowest list on eBay or TCG Player is where I would go.
Yeah, and then even like go to Google and search for the case, and then go to the shopping column or tab or whatever, and you might find Collectors Cash's website, or you might find, I can't think off the top of my head, but there's Hills Wholesale, there's
David Adams.
Yeah, like do a general Google search and you might find you might find somebody who's cheaper than either TCG Player or eBay. Troll and Toad is there too.
Yeah, if you want to pay. He said oh, he didn't mention price. So I guess Troll and Toad can fit in.
Yeah. Well,
Troll and Toad is usually expensive for boxes.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Like Mason made that video recently about Chilling Rain boxes on TCG Player being like 105. I think my Chilling Rain booster boxes right now on Troll and Toad, let me double check. I think they're like 95 or something, or maybe 90.
Wow.
But the thing is, like I don't even know how it works because I don't really buy from them that much. I think you pay shipping. Let me double check. But another thing they have, like discount code TCA5 saves you 5%, so that's something. And then if you like buy list with them, you can actually you can get like a higher percentage on your returns. Yeah, Monster Deals right now, so it's not even me. My boxes are at 93. Monster Deals has $88.29 Chilling Rain boxes on Troll and Toad.
Man.
So that's $17. I don't think the shipping would be $17. I'm assuming that's cheaper out the door than TCG Player right now. So yeah, you gotta look everywhere. That's why you gotta look everywhere, because the market, sometimes there's disconnects between one platform to the other. We're like 25 minutes behind. I have timestamps now in these comments.
Well, that's nice.
Our backlog's
I'm down at the bottom of the chat.
Our backlog's growing. Your average player wants a more mature anime, just label it separately, please. Pokemon should do the same thing as Marvel, have content for both kids and adults. Yeah, I'm sure they could do some kind of a spin-off series. They could do separate movies. I mean, they did like Detective Pikachu, right? That wasn't really geared straight towards adults or anything, but they could do a movie series. They could do a separate show. There's probably ways to do it that aren't as extreme as Nick proposed. The games need a difficulty slider. Yeah, I haven't played a game in a long time, but they I think they are quite easy. Yeah, they're all talking about the adult themed thing. Jay says, how are the print runs going for SD Charizard going in the US, Canada? We're getting flooded in the UK. Seems like everyone who applied is getting one. Do you have a feel?
Except me.
Yeah, do you have a feel for percentages? Because I mean, I'm 50% right now. Well, I got one and my mom didn't, so.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I am surprised at the pricing though. Like, they're all over Facebook for $120 to $130.
What's your buy
like
point?
Sealed copies of them.
What's your strike point?
What was that?
What's your strike point?
I honestly haven't even thought of it. I'm gonna wait a long time to buy any of them though, because it's already too late to be first to market with grading.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait until the dust settles. Because I think if they're already down to 120, 130, there's going to be a lot of them, and the price is going to go down even further.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the number is. It would be more of a feel thing if and when we get there, but like it depends on how quick we shoot down from here, how low it goes. If they start being $20 at some point, I would have a lot of them by that point, and maybe I just have to double down if it went to 10. I don't think they'd go that low, but
I highly doubt they'd go down to 20.
As we said in that one episode, though, like they could go fairly low if they could go really low if they print 5 million of them. It all comes down to supply, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
Pikachu has a question. I think it's actually up on screen if you want to take it.
What has been your best? I think this will go up, so I'm buying the floor. Win, and what card set was it? Let's see. For me, I guess it would. I've never really bought a card where I said like in that scenario where I said that, like the whole investing thing, like what Jake does really good at. I've never done that where I say this card seems too cheap, let me buy it and hold it. A similar example to that was when I was building my PSA 8 first edition base set. I built the whole set, and then I wanted to buy a gold strip Team Deck display case. I didn't have the money at the time, so I sold my Charizard, bought the gold strip case, and then about a year later, I rebought the Charizard because it was still at the same exact price that I had sold it at. And I said, being that it's a Charizard first edition base, it's gotta go up eventually, so let me buy it. I actually bought one off of Gem Mint Pokemon Zach in early 2020. And now that card's worth like 10,000, somewhere around there. But that was just a happy coincidence.
Yeah. I like you said, I haven't really done like what Jake does either. Closest thing might be like actively or recently, I guess. I was buying a lot of PSA CGC 8 to 9.5 WotC first edition hollows. I think a few years from now, I will look back and talk about how good I did with that. And I think I'll look back and say, like, I wish I bought more to crack out and regrade. Because that's a two-pronged thing. Not only am I buying them with the thought they'll go up, I'm making them go up by improving their numbers. Another thing that my mind goes to, in 2018, I finished a lot of my goals as far as having most PSA 9s that I wanted in my collection and having opened all the boxes. In 2018 to 2019, I set my sights towards Japanese promos and trophies. And in the span of about a year, I basically I don't have any exposure to these. I want exposure to as many as possible. So over that 12-month period-ish, 12 to 18-month period, I guess, I bought many Mysterious Pearls that I was buying for $1,600 PSA 10s, all the way up until they were $3,000 raw. And I bought Victory Orb, I bought my Full Art Pikachus, I was just wholesale buying any trophies at market. I was trying to be a little bit shrewd and trying to buy a little bit deals, but the nature of that animal of trophy cards is that if they're there, you buy them or you don't buy them. You can't really, there's not that much room to do too much deal shopping, except for maybe lately with all the auctions. But so yeah, in that time frame, I did really well buying the floor of trophy cards to some extent. Fortunate timing. I just got lucky that I finished my English goals at a time where I snapped up a bunch of Japanese and trophy stuff, and then they just went to the moon. So that was a decent bit of luck there for sure. Let's see where our next question is. what's your guys' favorite original Shining card? I think we're both on Shining Gyarados.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, so Neo Revelation Shining Gyarados brings me right back to Lake of Rage, Pokemon Crystal, one of my favorite games. Chat BN asks, have you ever found yourselves in a bit of a lull/burnout of the hobby, struggling to work or lack of motivation?
Every once in a while, I would say. Definitely the motivation more. Like there's definitely times where it seems like there's a never ending amount of stuff to do, and there's definitely times where I'll just like think about everything I have to do, and just get overwhelmed by it, and I just don't accomplish anything whatsoever that day. But for the most part, I do thoroughly enjoy spending time on eBay, taking pictures, sorting through cards, and all that stuff. So I'm usually pretty productive with everything I have to do. But there are definitely times where it becomes a lot, and you just need a break.
Yeah, and nice thing about being your own boss, if you get burnt out at your 9 to 5, you might have a little bit of personal, you might have a little bit of vacation time. You can use it if they'll allow you to. But one, they might deny it, right? Like you might have to request it and it might get denied. Being your own boss, you got to ship your orders, you got to do all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, you can like, hey, I'm going to go golf today. I'm going to go have some drinks out on the lawn, mow the lawn, do whatever you want to do. You can't do that all the time. You can't do that for a month long. Your lights are going to start turning off. Your water is not going to turn on anymore. But yeah, that's generally something that I don't feel though, which is great. Work-life balance is pretty solid right now. Easier to maintain being my own boss. I pulled up the next question. If you want to cover that, you should see it.
Yeah. So Trippy hits. Want to hear about the Nick's 5-cent TCG player strategy versus yours, Dan? So my strategy is to list everything on TCG Player. When a new set comes out, I'll open up a bunch of booster packs, and I'll start off with the more expensive chase cards, list those on eBay, and then everything else gets listed on TCG Player. So all of the holos, reverse holos, rares, uncommons, and commons. I usually list for the TCG Player stuff. I'll list an unlimited amount of any trainers that I pull, because trainers sell really good on TCG Player. For like the character cards, I'll list however many of each rare I get, and then the commons and the uncommons, I'll list 50 of each copy. And the reason why I do that versus just bulking those cards out is because even like the commons and uncommons, they sell slowly, but they sell decently. And where I'm already opening up all this product, why not maximize your profits on it and list everything versus bulking those cards out for, what is it, like 2 cents a piece now? 1.5, 2 cents?
Not even now. A lot of places turn their buy lists off for bulk, unless that's changed.
Yeah.
My strategy my strategy is to let Nick do all that, and I think like for pre-UFO, I hadn't had an eBay listing below like $9.99 in quite a while. Now I am selling UFO singles that go all the way down to like $1.49. I think my floor for singles on eBay will be like $1.49. Anything cheaper, I'll just either send in the Troll and Toad or I'll bulk them out. And TCG Player, I am gonna fire that back up maybe tomorrow with UFO singles and some Pokemon singles I have. I don't think I'll go under like 79 cents or maybe 50 cents there. It's just not something I want to be in, so I'll leave that to Nick. And then next question's there for you too.
I think the perfect price point for TCG Player is 50 cents, because they're paying shipping on top of the cost of the card. So at 50 cents, you're making a decent bit of money on that order.
Yeah. It would be nice if TCG Player would get the standard envelope feature that eBay has.
Yeah, that is true. You gotta get the like the shipping program I got. That that definitely makes it a little bit nicer.
I do
Because
need to look. You use pirate ship
no, I
or
use Indicia.
that's right. Yeah.
Um, Pirate Ship. I was thinking about switching over to Pirate Ship at one point, but they don't offer the envelope thing, so that kind of made me stop looking into that.
Yeah. Um
But the next question, Pepsi versus Coke, Caesars versus Domino's. I answered that one in the chat. I am 100% a Pepsi guy. And then if
oh,
I had to choose, I would choose Domino's. Really not a big fan of either of those.
we've gotten through a lot, but I think this one might be the one to end it live right here. I mean, Coke. How do you not choose Coke? Ernesto, when I was live with Ernesto the other day, he picked Pepsi too. I mean, come on.
He was smart. He was smart. That's why.
Man.
And then you even picked Caesars, didn't you?
Coke and Little Caesars. So I mentioned it. My Little Caesars is 15 minutes away. My Domino's is like 30 minutes away. None of those pizzas age that well. You need to kind of like be eating them. And then the fact that it sits that much longer in my car in the cardboard box, like maybe that brings the quality down so much. It's not like you eat in at a Domino's or a Little Caesars, right?
I don't think so, no.
Let's see. Is a return to $10 PSA subs with upheld turnaround times of 90 days more of a benefit or more of a hindrance to your current and future business plan? More competition, less immediate demand? To me, I don't think $10 PSA with less than 90-day turnaround time is happening anytime soon. I don't see it happening within 3 years. If that happens pre-2025, I'd be shocked. I think the equilibrium price point for 90-day turnaround time would be closer to 15. I could be completely wrong, but that's my thought. Say we get to a reality where that happens, though. Say it happens like next year. That would help my business more than it would hurt it because it would be more certainty. When you have less than 3 months turnaround time, you just have certainty. You send something out, you know when it's coming back. It's going to prevent people from sending as much junk. Like say some new promo comes out, not everyone's going to send a million of it because they know everyone else might be. And if it's a 50-cent card, you run the risk of it being a $12 PSA 10 if everyone sends 10,000 of them. So overall, I think shorter lead times are just universally beneficial. And if you're someone who's trying to grade all those 1-cent cards, and I do grade a lot of them, and I make good margins on them, overall that could be negative towards you if you get too crazy and send too many all at once. I think the slow bleed thing is still like a play on a lot of stuff. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you on that'd be more beneficial. Quicker turnaround times is I can't think of a negative for that. Just because it was I would go back and forth on grading or selling raw for the longest time. And just being able to buy raw collections and then have the cards graded in a relatively quick time frame would make things so much easier. Obviously, like the cheap cards, like you said, those cards would definitely take a hit in pricing. But it would just go back to like having to go back to the time before 2020 when you had to be selective about sending cards that you thought were going to get PSA 10s because PSA 9s you would break even, where 10s you would make a little bit of money. The part where I disagree with you is I think that this $10 90-day turnaround time is going to come a lot quicker than you think, just because I don't know the answer to this, but how many cards was PSA grading before everything happened here? And now they're grading like 1 million cards a month. They've been able to increase their capacity super quickly. And I think if they continue to increase as quickly as they have been, they could get to $10 a card 90-day turnaround time a lot quicker than 3-4 years from now.
I hope so. But yeah, they graded something like, I'm trying to pull it up, but I'm not sure I'll get to it in time. But they graded something like only 2 million cards in like 2019 or 2018. Some sounds crazy that it could be that low, but they really are like ballooning their grading abilities. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
It'll be interesting for sure.
So here it is right here. Yeah, they graded approximately, in 2020, they graded approximately 2.5 million cards. And
now they're doing that every 2.5 months.
Yep, they graded about 8 million in 2021, and they're on pace to do about 10 to 12 in 2022. Yeah.
That's a lot of cards.
Mm-hmm. A lot of plastic. Next question is from your average player. What is the most you guys would pay for an Arita signature directly from him?
Honestly, 20, 30 bucks. Signatures are cool. I'm not a big fan of signatures.
I was gonna say 20, and that's like, I don't think I'd actually pay 20. If he was over there and there was no line, no wait, and I could just change a $20 bill for having ink on my card, I'd do it probably. And then I'd just sell it for a bunch more money. So I'd probably pay more. I'd pay whatever the market would bear to like make a good premium, but I'm not gonna wait in a line. The line for a $20 Arita signing at a Collecticon is probably gonna be 4 hours. I'm not in that line.
Yeah,
so I'm not in that line if it's free and it's more than 30 minutes, honestly. I just don't really care about signatures. How many sitting cuties did you buy in that order?
Same way with you there.
I didn't buy any sitting cuties in the special delivery Charizard in that order, but I buy them in most of them.
There's probably no other sitting cuties that you need.
Pokenomics says Dan had kids so he could buy more sitting cuties as presents. When is Zelda gonna moon? Pikachu's always shilling something, always pumping his Skull Kid Zelda cards and his Worlds promos. Here's a good one. From Ancient Mew himself. What do you guys think was printed more? Mew number 8 or Ancient Mew?
I would say Mew number 8.
I would too.
Yeah, there's a lot of those cards.
Millions to like a million, maybe, or something. Maybe millions to less millions.
To a million.
Yeah. Wow, we're 30 minutes behind with the chat. Let's try to... Pokenomics says, how's the selling singles game going, Nick?
It's going well. Keeping busy with it. It's never ending. I'm doing a lot better this month about kind of focusing on what I have and kind of getting all that stuff sorted, listed, all that fun stuff, and not buying many new collections. And I've been doing that for about a month. It's been working out well. Hopefully I can keep that going, and hopefully I can reach a point where I'm actually cleared through everything that I have and am able to kind of like buy a collection, sort through it, and then buy the next collection. Like right now, if you're still in here, the collection that I bought off of you in Charlotte, those are down in the basement. I have not touched those cards since I bought them from you. So I want to get to a point where that's not the case, and I'm able to quickly process through collections.
And that's never going to happen with how many singles you're buying.
One day. How many singles do you sell and ship a week? So it's kind of slowed down a little bit. I think that's from the summer. Just summer is typically a slower time than the rest of the year. So right now I'm averaging like 35 to 40 eBay sales a day. And then TCG Player I do every other day. And it's usually about 10 sales on TCG Player every other day that I'm shipping out. The rest are fulfilled by TCG Player Direct. So it's probably 40-ish sales a day that I'm shipping out on eBay and TCG Player.
I like this one from Jay. Is there a more liquid card in the hobby than unlimited base Charizard? Based on that thought, is it better to have 100 base Zards or 100 of any modern booster boxes of similar price? Two of the most liquid things in the hobby. The thing that I like more about the modern booster boxes is that it is just what it is. It's largely for people to open, so you're going to have way less returns, way less issues with condition, though you do run into that on occasion. People wanting to collect a sealed box of each and having like a pristine example. So I would take the boxes.
Interesting. I would actually take the Charizards. Just because you don't have to worry about reprints with Charizards. Modern boxes, you're gonna have to worry about reprints at least for the first couple years. And
See, I'm just gonna. My thought was like immediate sale. I would sell 100 boxes in 3 days of Evolving Skies, and they'd just be gone, and I'd have my money. Game over.
Okay.
Then I'm on.
But are you?
That was the way I took it.
Are you making anything then? If you're you can't be buying them from a distributor and selling them.
Yeah, I guess you need more clarification on what exactly the question is. If it's longer term, yeah, I mean, I would take the Charizards, I would grade the better ones, and it all comes down to the nuances of the question, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely do the Charizards. Like you said, grade the better ones, and I just think they're more nostalgic. There's going to be a bigger demand for the Charizards, at least until like this generation grows up and remembers all the sets that they grew up with as kids. Plus, single cards are easier to ship out, in my opinion.
Here's a question from Professor Birch. I'm trying to collect as many of the full art ancient trait cards lately. Some of the arts are just as satisfying as TG cards IMO. Thoughts on these type of cards and their future potential?
The ancient what cards?
Ancient traits. Aren't those from like the XY era?
I have no idea what those are.
Yeah, it's like Mega Rayquaza from Roaring Skies.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can get the screen share going. Of course, I've got my desk, my messy desk showing.
Yeah, I think those if they are like like what you were saying, the Mega Rayquaza and all that stuff from XY. I think those cards are cool. I like them. But in terms of like value and long-term potential and stuff like that, I think it's going to be tough just because for me anyway, there wasn't like a ton in XY that really stood out to me as being like a really cool card.
Ugh, I keep having issues with how I'm sizing it. Still learning OBS here.
Okay, I know what those are. Okay.
Yeah, they're like almost like 3/4 art cards in a lot of ways, because some of them were even commons and uncommons. I think they're cool. I don't really like the whole speculating, investing long term but to me, they have decent future potential. I don't think they're ever gonna rocket ship to the moon, but they're cool cards. That's my take on them. Don't work, buy Charizard. Let me get that was when I said why work for a week, just buy a Charizard, crack it out, and optimize it.
There we go. See, same thing applies with Charizards and modern booster boxes.
Catch them all, Dan. Burner account. I just quit my job to optimize Charizard Slab. That's pretty much what I do. That's pretty much my job. Burner accounts cracking up. Brad? We're actually churning through. There's a big section here with no questions. Let's see. Oh, so here we go. The Ultra Premium Collection, the Sword Shield Ultra Premium Collection, it has 3 unique Charizards in it, apparently. So we were told
Really?
we were told a couple months ago that there was going to be one foil special art V-Star card etched, one foil special art V-Max card etched, one foil special art V card etched. They're all Charizards.
That's gonna be a crazy collection box.
I see a PokeBeach article, but there's not really much to like show as far like I could share the screen, but there's literally no images. Let me see if PokeGuardian has.
I do remember seeing that. That's gonna be wild.
Yeah. Buy all of them you can, I guess, at retail if possible. I'm gonna take all my allocation and I'm probably gonna sit on them for a little bit until they go up like UPCs did.
I don't know if UPCs really. Those kind of. I think I was selling those at like 300 on release.
They were high at release,
down to 200,
and then they went back.
Now they're back up to like 350. So they really haven't moved too much.
I think they were 300 down towards 200, up above 300, and now they're like drifting back down, like a roller coaster of prices. But I sold a couple at like 400, and I think I'm only down to like 6 or 7 left. I guess maybe 8 or 9 with the random ones strewn about the office. What's with Target raising their MSRP on Pokemon product? Supply and demand. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I think a lot of ETBs that used to be 40 are now 45. Some of the $50 ones are now 55. That's just, if it's going to sell anyways, I don't see an issue in a store deciding to raise it. I would have thought that those stores were restricted on raising some of their prices. So I don't know if Pokemon sent... Yeah, I don't know if Pokemon sent down some kind of notification that they could feel free to bump things up by $5 if they wanted, but like you don't see them putting out a UPC for 200 when they still would have sold out. So I don't know exactly what's going on there.
Yeah, the Target near me has a small section of Pokemon now, whereas before it didn't have anything. But it's still like a very limited selection. Like they'll have the blister packs, the theme decks or battle decks, a few ETBs, but that's about it. How's the stores near you? Do they have a decent bit of stock?
I don't really go to the card section in like Walmarts or Targets or anything. I never really check it because I mean I'm buying wholesale. When I usually do, with the pandemic, I was doing like the grocery pickup. I just got like attached to that, so I'm still mostly doing that. I go to, the only stores I go inside of are like grocery stores. Like near me, it's Price Chopper. That's like a regional thing in the Northeast. I don't think most of our worldwide viewers will know what Price Chopper is, but yeah, that's something that I just don't see what the availability is around here.
Yeah.
This question's actually pretty interesting. I forget what the set was. Let me double check quick. But yeah, Rudy did a video on Wizards earnings. Did you see that? I did not see that one, no. Kamigawa or something? It's called Hasbro Wizards of the Coast Alpha Investments Rudy. It's a weird title, but he made it like a week ago. And apparently Hasbro released some information that they made $100 million. I think it was Kamigawa. That must be what Kami is, Kamigawa. $100 million gross, like top line sales on Kamigawa. And he broke down roughly how many products that would be between booster boxes, collector boxes, decks, whatever they do, international, and what it amounted to. Like basically there's this thought in the Magic market that 1 million boxes or 2 million boxes of these sets are being produced, but he showed the math and like 250,000 was his high estimate for what a high printed set would be produced to. And I mean, I've done some work on this in the Pokenomics Patreon. With 9.1 billion cards, that would equate to 1.5 billion cards per set, roughly, on what they were printing. And I mean, you can do the math. And we could have over 1 million booster boxes being printed for some of our sets. What it all means at the end of the day, supply, demand, who knows? But it was a really interesting video, and I'd recommend anyone go watch it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. Why do you think some larger collectors don't show off their collections often? I think showing your collections is enjoyable and even more enjoyable to watch.
I think it's kind of twofold, I guess. Like, I know SM Pratt, Scott, he'd show some cards every now and then and get a lot of comments of people just hating on him for showing these cards. So he decided to quit doing that and kind of just keeps everything private now, which makes sense. Why are you going to show all this stuff and then have everyone give you a hard time about it? That's no fun right there. And then the second part of it being like security reasons. You don't want people to know that you have all of this stuff sitting in your house in a safe somewhere. So it's just easier not to show it. But I do agree with you, Shu. I think it's fun to show the personal collection off, kind of talk about cards that you're interested in, and I do enjoy doing that. I want to get back into. I want to do an updated video on my No Damage Ninetales and my booster packs and all that stuff. The reason I don't do them is just because of time, not having enough time. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, I think it's not surprising at all that there are some very, very large collectors. I mean, Dubsy just recently created the Instagram and is starting to show things, but wants to keep his anonymity as far as who he is, which is fair. Yeah. And I think privacy and anonymity are highly undervalued. And it's funny to say that as somebody who's public with my face on social media and all that, but like, I have a Facebook. I mostly use it to look through the Pokemon groups and some of the MetaZoo groups lately to buy things. But the whole fascination with like every second of every day being cataloged and posted on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and it is a bit weird in a lot of ways. And one thing that really pushes the boundaries into like super weird is when people see the Dubsy thing going on and they feel like they are entitled to knowing who that is and wanting to like break through that veil of anonymity. It's just weird. Like, I understand the wonder and the thought. Like, I've thought about it and wondered some, but not to the extent that, like, I'm sure he gets some harassing messages, like, tell us who you, like, weird things. And I know you mentioned Scott had weird things in the past where just people talking about some of his cards, selling it for too much. Just the more you make yourself public, the more you open yourself up to the unfortunate 1% of rotten apples that spoil the bunch. And I mean, thankfully I haven't seen too much of that, but it's just, yeah, some small percent of humanity is just dead set on ruining things for the rest. And when in the electronic age, in the age of the internet and everything, once it's out there, there's no going back. So I can see a lot of people just not wanting to put any of it out there to begin with. Yeah, more people, many messages about the 3 Charizard Ultra Premium Collection.
That'll be really cool. I wonder if that'll do better than the Celebrations one, because I did like the idea of having the metal cards plus the Celebrations packs. Or Celebrations is such a fun set to open. Where I guess it'll depend on what packs they put in there too. Because if it's all like Fusion Strike, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I have no idea. Mr. Walrus says, currently on Patreon for SM Pratt, other than content, I'm not seeing the value at $30 must be. Is your Pokenomics better value for $10? I am very, very heavily biased in that, so I'm not going to make... I'm not going to make a declaration towards that, but $10. I mean, you're less than, it's a third of what you're paying now. You can check it out for a month and you can let me know. We have a Discord, we have monthly Zoom meetings, we have weekly office hours with me and Jake. Nick has one too, $10, right?
Yes, we do.
Nick has one as well with Pallet Town and Crystal Pokemon.
Crystal Pokemon. Yeah.
For less than the cost of the other one, you can have both of ours. So check them out and let us know.
Yeah, I'll personally say I'm part of Scott's Patreon. I got in at $10, and I probably wouldn't stick around if I was paying $30 a month. Just because for me, I'm mainly listening to the videos to have something in the background to listen to. I don't get I don't think I get the value, but I like the entertainment aspect. So $10 a month, I'm fine paying that. $30 a month, I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think I'm in Scott's as well. I'm a patron of his as well, and I'm paying 10 or 15, I think. So for me, it's worth what I'm paying, but I probably wouldn't have subscribed at one of the higher tiers. I think he's open for 25 now, or maybe it's 30. But couple questions regarding shipping super cheap singles. So you can either go plain white envelope for like 60 cents, or through eBay, you can do eBay standard envelope for like 61 cents. There are ways to buy stamps for cheaper through eBay. You need to be careful you're buying real ones and not fake ones. But yeah, TCG Player has some, if you want to go into shipping on TCG Player, where some people have free shipping on really cheap things, I think those are largely fulfilled by direct, right? Minimum order amounts too.
Yeah, you can set it up where, like for me, I have it set up if you spend $5 or more, you get free shipping. Anything under $5, you pay 99 cents for shipping. And like Dan said, I mail everything PWE. Put the card in a penny sleeve, top loader, team bag to seal it up, throw it into the penny or the envelope and mail it off. I have a shipping program that I use that I copy and paste the address. I select whether it's a 1 ounce, 2 ounce, or 3 ounce PWE. Click print, and it just prints everything onto the envelope, which makes it really nice. But you don't get those stamp savings like Dan was talking about. You're paying the 57 cents, 82 cents, or whatever it is for 2 ounces. Whereas if you buy the stamps yourself and actually put the stamps onto the envelope, you can still get stamps for 42 cents a piece now on eBay. But I like I think I save more time doing it this way than doing it the other way. So that's why I pay the additional amount.
You haven't seen it come up on your screen yet, but I highlighted Swami's comment. I'm clipping that. At 50 cents, you're making a decent bit of money on that order. Swami with the zinger. Yeah, Nick has done a video before selling 99-cent singles on eBay. You actually lose if one person buys one 99-cent single. You make money when people buy more than one, and I'm not about it. I need to make at least like a dime.
That is one very frustrating part about TCG Player is you'll have people who purchase one single 5-cent card plus 99 cents shipping. After all the TCG Player fees, your cost for shipping, your cost for packaging supplies, not even including, just if you deduct the TCG Player fees and the cost for postage, not even including packaging supplies and time and all that stuff, you're already losing money shipping out that order. And the same goes for if someone buys like 100 5-cent cards, the order total is going to be like $5. You're not going to be able to ship out PWE, so you're going to spend $4 on shipping. TCG Player is going to take about $1 of that, so you're literally losing money by selling cards. It's a lot of fun.
I just linked Old School Pokemon's TCG Player in the comments in the chat. So if anyone wants to go buy an 8-cent single and see how it works. It's there. It's there just in case. See, now I can link it live. Now that we're live, I don't just say it. Now I can actually give them the link to go do it. Nick's gonna get hopefully his desktop notifications aren't on because he's gonna get like 50 emails that he's got a TCG player order. Here we go. Thrifty, Team Coke, and Little Caesars.
Ugh,
I like it.
What is wrong with you?
I like it. Brad calling me out. I was drinking Mountain Dew the other night. That is a Pepsi product. So if I'm at an establishment where they serve Pepsi products, I have to have something. So I go Mountain Dew. And almost every time I'm on stream, I'm drinking a soda. I swear that's not all I drink. I actually usually when I go out to dinners or something, I get like iced tea. I drink a lot of milk. I drink a lot of mainly iced tea and milk, and then sodas a few times a week. But when I'm doing Pokemon streams, it's just like it's the brand now. I'm waiting for that Coca-Cola reach out for the sponsorship.
You'll be waiting a bit longer for that.
Yeah. Here's a question from Master Trainer Ryan. How do you guys feel about the future of higher end cards in different languages other than English and Japanese? So like Chinese, Korean, Spanish, whatever.
What was the question? I got distracted there.
How do you feel about the future of higher end cards in different languages other than English and Japanese? So like a base first Charizard in French or Spanish or a non-English, non-Japanese trophy or something. I feel like I've seen people with like Korean or Indonesian trophies or something.
Yeah, I think you're always going to be better off sticking with the cards that have the most amount of interest. So English and Japanese. Once you start getting into these other foreign languages, you're just limiting your buyer pool for those cards. I've never personally been big into foreign cards. Even Japanese. I'm not too big into Japanese. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. But I will say, some of those foreign base packs are like I'm collecting art sets of all the base packs, and some of those foreign base packs in Unlimited are super hard to find. Like I'm still missing. I was able to get all the first editions relatively easily, but I'm still missing French Unlimited, Italian Unlimited, Portuguese Unlimited, and Korean Unlimited. And I've been searching for those. Yeah, Korean is very expensive. But I've been searching for all those for like years, and I haven't been able to find any. So some of that stuff does have much lower supply.
Yeah, peak liquidity is going to be found in English and Japanese. So your liquidity is going to go down. You're diving down into the niches when you get into non-English, non-Japanese. That said, I think it's like a riskier play inherently just because there might be like no market activity. Print runs might be lower. A lot of people people are obsessed with pops. So like, why go towards base unlimited or why go towards like English unlimited low pop WotC hollows when you can go towards super low pop? They made a lot of languages for Fossil and Jungle. They didn't make all the languages for all the sets, but yeah, there's probably some like really obscure low print WotC sets with like none graded. For a while, PSA didn't grade them, but now they do. I'm not making any of those plays. That said, like one recent anecdotal experience. So years ago, when Evolutions came out, I bought like 2 or 3 boxes each. So Korean CP6, Korean Evolutions. The way that they did it, it was 3 boxes. Charizard had a box, Blastoise had a box, and Venusaur had a box. Really, really cool the way they separated out into 3 green, red, and blue boxes. I bought like a few of each, and I opened all but 1 of each. And I just recently sold the Charizard box for $2,000. And this was like a 10-pack Korean Evolutions. I sold the Charizard for $2,000, the Blastoise for $1,800, the Venusaur for $1,600. I think I paid $25 or $30 a piece for those. Korean CP, like super niche, super. Some had recently sold on eBay for like a little over $1,000. So I'm like, I don't see any of these things listed. Let me pop mine up really high. I got best offers, paid, shipped, done through the GSP. Done and gone.
Sweet.
I'm not actively trying to make more of those plays, but that blew my mind. There's probably lots of them out there. There's probably lots of plays, lots of opportunities. That one fell into my lap. I didn't really try to look for it. I don't even remember when or why I bought those boxes. Probably someone linked them on E4, or probably someone linked them somewhere. And I just, those are cheap enough. I'll buy a few of each. And I got really lucky. Yeah. The new car smell won't last long traveling 30 minutes with Domino's. That's true. That's why I don't go for Domino's.
Definitely not.
Metazul didn't even know Little Caesars still existed.
Same here. We actually don't have any Little Caesars around me.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I think I have. I probably have, one is 15 minutes away. I probably have 2 or 3 within half an hour, if I had to guess. Domino's, maybe 2, but they're both like half an hour away. Skater Nesto is team good food with nutritional value. Having said that, Papa John's. we don't have a Papa John's anymore. We had one. We had one a couple years ago, but we don't even have one. I mean, we probably do like an hour away or something, but we're up to 86 people watching. Solid turnout for the first live. That is over 10% of our sub count. We've only got 52 likes. We've only got 800 subs. Don't be shy. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that sub button. While I'm scrolling for the next question.
Watching, only 53 likes. Come on, guys.
We're still half an hour behind, so we're not really cutting down the backlog too well. We need to hire more people to churn through these questions. Uh-oh, I just scrolled to the bottom.
Jeez. Well, everyone who asked a question after Peter Nesto.
Jake Smith says everyone crapping on Domino's hasn't eaten there in the past 5 years. Maybe I'll have to give them another try because it's been a while for me. Jake Smith doesn't like that we don't want Arita signature either. For me, like if I'm at a Rangers game and I can get a signature from their player, from the actual person, I'm more about that, but I still don't even care that much. To me, like the person who drew the art, like cool, you drew the art, but I don't know. I'm just not big about signatures on cards. I like the art. I don't want to put ink. I don't want to put ink on the card. Like that's bad. Inked cards are bad. That's where my mind is. I can't get over that.
Well, what about your Squirtle Squad card in the background?
That is the only way to ink a card. If you're gonna ink a card, draw Squirtle Squad sunglasses on Squirtle. If who drew that one? I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's Arita. So if Arita's there, you know what I'm doing? Let's change it now. I'm changing my answer. So if Arita's there, I'm bringing not Charizards, not for Stonkage. I'm gonna have him make Squirtle Squad and then sign it Arita, so I can have like not only just a scribbled on Squirtle Squad, but an Arita Squirtle Squad. I'm gonna make him write 1 of 1, and now we're talking. So
and how much are you gonna be willing to pay for the signature?
$20.
So nothing's really changed.
so maybe I'm more enthusiastic about it though. Like $20, I was like, I guess I'd pay $20, but now I'm enthusiastically spending $20.
That is true. I'll give you that.
Stuart asked, do you think a lot of the newly hired workers for PSA are short-term contractors as opposed to full-time employees? Would it make sense if they correctly read it as a boom and can downsize appropriately? I would assuming most people they're hiring are just full-time employees because it's not very hard to let full-time employees go. I mean, downsizing happens all the time. Layoffs happen. That would be my guess. How they actually structured it, how they handled it, I have no idea. But I would think that if you brought people onto grade cards, that you were telling them this is like a short-term basis, and the grading and the care taken would be even worse and less consistent. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah, I would imagine they were hired as full-time versus temporary. Just because I would imagine PSA is trying to plan for the long term and planning to continue getting this kind of level of submissions. So they want to kind of build up their infrastructure is what I would guess.
Here's a good one from Aiden. What is something Pokemon related that has been grinding your gears recently?
Ooh.
I'll go quickly. I'll go first. Just the obsession with grading. It's weird because it grinds my gears in some ways, but it also makes me a lot of money. So it's like to my detriment to talk badly on it. But one thing that really, like, the more pure side of it, like the nicer side of my feelings on it, when someone has a card that they love, like say this card is raw and they love it, and then they send it to a grading company, and this third party company's opinion makes them value their card less. Like, it's the same exact card that they loved raw, and then they submitted, like, this is beautiful, it's got a shot at a 10, and then someone at PSA looks at it for 30 seconds and says, meh, it's a 9. The fact that that takes value away from that person's enjoyment of that card, that is so wrong to me. That grinds my gears. Like, people way overvalue, in my opinion, the 30-second opinion of a professional grader. Heavy air quotes on that, because we look at our cards way more than they do. And do not let someone else, and this goes way beyond Pokemon, do not let someone else's opinion of you or your stuff or what you're doing or your dreams or your goals or your aspirations, do not let someone else's opinion take you down. But people do it all day long with graders, and it grinds my gears. So it wasn't as quick as I thought it was going to be, but your turn.
I guess mine would be hearing Dan talk about how grading grinds his gears. No, I would say, I would say the kind of immaturity in the hobby still in some places. Like, I look on Facebook a lot for different collections to buy and stuff like that, and there's still so many people within the hobby who don't know what they are talking about and like to think that they know everything. And that type of stuff annoys me a lot. So I wish people would do their own research or not be afraid to ask other people, instead of making stuff up and pretending you know everything.
Yeah. Do you ship jumbos ever on eBay?
Very cheap ones, like the modern ones.
How do you ship them?
Like,
Kathy asks, how do you ship them on eBay?
Oh, eBay offers, like the eBay shipping store, they offer, it's like a cardboard envelope. I think the sizing is like 4x6 or something like that. And it's just like a cardboard envelope. You can slide the jumbo card into the envelope, seal it up. You can print the eBay standard envelope postage onto it, and I just mail them out that way. So it's only the very cheap modern jumbos that I'm mailing out. Selling them for $3-4 a piece. I just throw them into the envelope. I do the 3-ounce option of eBay standard envelope. Costs me $1.05 to mail it out. And the people at the post office told me originally that these probably wouldn't work. But I said that eBay says you could mail up to a paper size envelope and it would go through. So they said, we'll try it. And I've mailed, at this point, hundreds of those without any of them being returned. Occasionally, I will get a message from a buyer saying that the jumbo was bent. The mailman just bent the envelope and put it in their mailbox. So you do have to refund a certain percentage of those shipments, but that's the best way that I've found.
You covered that pretty well. I'm not actively selling those, so that sounds like a great way to do it. Professor Birch asks, in 10 years, do you think the 3-card dollar store packs will charge a similar premium as the full booster / XY Sun and Moon packs?
Not a chance. Those dollar store packs are absolute garbage. In terms of like the cards that you're getting inside. I will say they do have pretty cool. I personally like the dollar store packs because I trying to collect all the dollar store and the sample packs and all of that. But some of them are tough to find. They did stop making them in. I think Rebel Clash was the last set they made the dollar packs from. But some of the Sun and Moon XY era dollar packs are kind of tough to find. But I don't think we'll ever see them have the same type of premium.
I agree with all that. And Josh has a question on screen for you.
If you and Dan were in a WWE tag team death match against Cam and James, who would win, and what household item would be your go-to weapon, and why? I'm definitely gonna say me and Dan win that match. I feel bad for James having to be with Cam. Not a very fair team right there. We would destroy them too. What would I use as my weapon though? I guess I would have to use, just for the memes, I would have to use pins. That's what I'll use. I got some of those lying around.
See, I would go, the classics never go out of style, right? So I would go with like the classic folding chair. I'm not even someone who watched WWE, but I'm pretty sure folding chairs were like a common weapon in the death matches. So PokeFlipz punishes the Never Punish podcast for sure. That's my take.
We gotta get Dan to come out to Long Beach and put this to the test.
Yeah. Denver, we'll do it there. Dosey Do asks, when are you listing more base first PSA cards?
I actually listed the majority of the ones that I had. The only ones that I don't have listed right now are the PSA 8 copies, but all the 10s, all the 9s that I showed in that video are all listed on eBay. Those have actually been selling really, really well. There's like 3 buyers that I have who every couple days they offer on a few more of them. So I'm selling through those really, really well. A lot quicker than I thought I would. Dan's nearly 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Ancient Mew asks, do you think with the end of Sword Shield coming, will Rainbow Rares be pushed out? I would guess yes. We've had them for quite a while. Complete guess, we'll find out soon.
I hope so. Because Rainbow Rares, I really don't like those cards.
If you're looking through like Facebook and you're like, sometimes I'll be scrolling through Facebook and you'll see like, oh, there's some WotC cards, there's some level X's, there's some, you can see, and then, oh, there's Rainbow Rares. I have no idea what those cards are. You got to zoom in all the way to even see what the cards are. Like to just go through a binder at arm's length of Rainbow Rares. It's like, oh, cool. You have 7,000 of the same card. Oh no, they're actually all unique. Oh, let me get out my magnifying glass and verify. So yeah, I'm ready for them to go too, if you couldn't tell. I gotta move the chat up a little bit. Low Pop Pokey asks, thoughts on Unlimited WotC having lower pop in PSA 10 than first edition? Also, it's not like no one was grading Unlimited. More Unlimited has been graded. It's just more distributed towards lower grades. So my take on this, it's popularity report in a lot of ways. I know you're saying that the Unlimited pops are higher, more have been graded. But like another thing too, if you look on the market, more first edition jungle and fossil boxes come up than Unlimited, I think, because more were preserved. People cared about first edition, so they preserved them, and those just remain more in sealed form. I know this is like your bread and butter. This viewer, their name is Low Pop Pokey. They're all about the low pop stuff, and I feel like it could be a play. I think you've done well so far with it. But to me, I honestly, I just don't care about unlimited cards personally. Clearly, a lot of the market doesn't care as much, given that the unlimited pops are lower, yet the first editions outsell them fairly substantially in many instances. So, that's my take. And if you look at base first Zard versus unlimited Charizard, clearly, like, a lot more could be out there. I think, though there are less boxes, there's probably it's hard to say. Like that's the difficult thing. Base first versus base unlimited was the like lowest first edition to unlimited, whereas as you got into Rocket Jungle Fossil, there's so much more unlimited printed than first edition. But then once you get back into Neo, it almost might go towards Unlimited's kind of relatively rarer again. Maybe not rarer in absolute terms, but proportionally. So there's just so much nuance depending on the set, depending on the card. I'm not a pop guy. I'm not a PSA 10 guy. I'm not an Unlimited guy. So like there couldn't be less appealing cards to me, honestly, because they're 10s, they're unlimited, and they're low pop. Three things I don't care about.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. The one place I disagreed with you was the first base and unlimited base comparison. Just because, like, normally unlimited is not fun to open, in my opinion. I'd much rather first edition if I'm opening. But when it comes to base set, where first edition is almost like out of reach for the majority of people, unlimited is still fun to open. But like when you get to Jungle, Fossil, Team Rocket, I would so much rather have first edition open than unlimited. So that was the thing I wanted to add there. But as far as unlimited pops go, I think I'm gonna bust out the tinfoil hat and blame it on the new grading standards that PSA has. Just because, like back in the day when everyone was grading all of these first edition cards, they weren't grading as many unlimited cards. But now that the unlimited cards have a decent bit of value, PSA's grading standards have gotten stricter. And
Nat
that's
says
why
they
we're not
haven't.
seeing. He is. I can see his nose growing from here. But yeah, that's why you're not seeing. You're seeing the pop increase, but you're not seeing the 10 pop increase as much. Because back in the day, there were a lot of weaker 10s. Nowadays, you still have those weaker 10s, but they're not as prevalent. So thus, you have less 10s.
See, I don't believe Nat most things that he says. Like when he talks about new turnaround times and when he talks about the backlog being done before he grades the $30 or the $18. But I believe Nat when he says the grading isn't harder. Why? Because back in 2015 through 2017, I was cracking Jungle and Fossil boxes like a madman. This was all 2-cert era. I was doing it. PokeRev was doing it. Rusty was doing a tiny bit of it. A lot of people were doing it. We were sending all pack fresh stuff only. These things in PSA 9 were break even. You had to hit PSA 10s to make money. So I was sending the gemmiest of the gemmiest cards. And was PSA inconsistent? Did they grade a lot of cards that shouldn't have been 10s? Yes. Are they still doing that today? Yes. But today, 7s are worth money, 8s are worth money, 9s are worth money. I'm sending everything first edition if it's more than an 8. So I'm sending weaker cards on average in the 4-cert era, 5-cert era, 6-cert era. So I don't think the grading standards have changed at all. They're saying they haven't. People are just bad at pre-grading cards, and PSA is more inconsistent than ever. As inconsistent, more inconsistent. They've just always been inconsistent, but on average, the average condition of card going in is vastly worse. Because it's worth sending now. If you graded the PSA 8 first edition Jungle card 5 years ago, you were punished. You would not buy it now, sell that for like $15. Mm-hmm. So that's my little rant mode on that. But we've got another one from Smitty Werbin relating to grading card companies changing their standards. You want to take that one because it's on screen?
Thoughts on if CGC graded cards the way they are now, not 8-5ing everything and actually giving 9-5s and 10s on vintage from the beginning, how much closer to PSA would they be right now? I That's a good question. I think they would be a little bit closer. Like the gap in between pricing between CGC and PSA would be a little bit closer if CGC had graded the way they are grading now, back from the beginning, and everyone knew that CGC wasn't going to be handing out 10s like candy. So if everyone knew that and CGC was grading using the same grading scale they are now, from the get-go, I think the gap would be a little bit smaller, but I think there would still be a fairly substantial gap in between pricing between the two companies, just because PSA has a 25 year foundation of grading cards, 20-year history, 25 year history of grading Pokemon cards. So they have, and I would assume probably always will, control the market for Pokemon specifically. But I do think CGC would have given PSA a bit more competition than they had if they had done this. But I do think CGC overall, I think CGC is doing a good job, and I think CGC is definitely going to stay in the top 3 grading companies, which in my opinion, PSA, CGC, and then BGS.
Yeah, I mean, PSA gives 37% of Pokemon cards a 10 grade. CGC's new standards only give 10% or less. It's like 6. What is it? It's under 10% between pristine 10 and perfect 10. So they're still grading substantially harder than PSA, but easier than they were initially. If they graded as easily as PSA from the beginning, they would have been criticized for grading too easy if they graded with the same exact scale. It's just such a silly thing. Again, people talking in this chat during this conversation, CGC's wrong to grade the way they grade, because PSA's been around so long, they're established as like not only what we're familiar with, but a lot of people deem them as the correct way to grade cards. So when CGC gives a PSA 3, a CGC 6.5, people use that to look. I honestly like the CGC scale better. I think it's more fleshed out among the grades. I think not giving 37% of every card a 10 is more reasonable, and making the 10 kind of a challenge. And I know on certain sets the 10s are harder, but like overall, to me, it would be fine for a grading scale to exist where some sets just didn't have 10s. Like 25 years later, we still don't have a pre-release Clefable 10 because they were all garbage. I think it would be perfectly fine. If there are so many things Jake collects from 50 years ago, 100 years ago. If you have a 5, you're in good shape. Like, if the ideal grading scale, though, like what the market wants is what PSA gives. They want 10s. So if I was a new grading company, say I owned, like CGC had a way in because they already graded comics. Say there's another company out there that either grades coins or they grade whatever, action figures. Say they want to get into cards. I would come out with a scale. I would copy PSAs. I would give slightly less 10s, where PSA is giving out 37%, maybe make it 33%, 30%, a little bit less, but not too much less, because people want those 10s. No half grades, 1 through 10. That would be the optimal scale. A little bit harder than PSA, 1 through 10 only. PSA is not going to change because they don't have to. They could probably drop half grades and people would be fine, because they've graded like 40 million cards, and it's like 100,000 have qualifiers and half grades. It's like such a small amount that it doesn't even matter. But yeah, that would be my optimal grading scale: 1 through 10, no half grades, and just a little bit hard. Not much harder though, because people want 10s.
Yeah, I personally like the fact that CGC came along and doesn't give out 10s like candy. Because I think before CGC, really the only place that did that was BGS, and I can't stand BGS. So we definitely needed a company that could kind of take the spot of BGS, and that's what CGC has done and will continue to do, I think, anyway.
Here's a good question, just popped up for you.
My goal is to buy one copy of each PSA 9 First Edition WotC Hollow Shadowless for base. Do you have any optimization tips in today's market? Focus on lower end cards, higher end. I would look on auctions. That would be the best thing. For me anyway. I think a lot of auctions are going relatively cheap right now. So I would just keep an eye out for eBay auctions, PWCC auctions, Heritage, all that stuff. And then one thing that Dan does all the time, slab optimization. That's definitely something that I would look into as well. Looking for like really clean copies of CGC 8.5s to potentially cross over to PSA 9s, just because the CGC copies are going to sell for a lot less than the PSA 9 copy. So if you want to save a bit of money doing it that way, it's going to involve a little bit more work, but it's definitely doable. And then there are still raw copies of high grade cards out there. They're few and far between now, but they do still exist. So if you have a lot of time, just hop on Facebook, hop on eBay, spend the time looking at these raw copies. Hopefully the seller is honest about taking good pictures and descriptions and all that stuff. But I would personally just go the auction and CGC route for that.
And if you have time, like time and money are the two most limited resources we all have. But if you're heavier on the time and lighter on the money, look for ill-advised auction lots combined and potentially buy duplicates of certain things, optimize them, sell them. I know that's probably kind of cheating, but like buy 8.5s, turn them into 9s if possible, sell some on, put the money back, like buy auctions, sell by it now. It's just the general things. If you can buy a PSA 9 in the PSA 8 or a CGC 8 8.5 slab, it's going to be a lot cheaper than in the PSA 9 slab. Put it in the slab later. Buy the cards, not the grades. That's always the rule.
And then one other thing too with that question. How did you build your collection? Did you start off, so for like first base, did you start off with Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur? Because for me, I was always the opposite. I would get every single cheap card and then go back and get the more expensive ones, because then I have an incentive to spend the money on those more expensive cards, where I only have one card missing from that set, so now I'll go out and buy it, versus buying the more expensive cards first to kind of, because you know those cards are going to increase in value first.
I think pinning yourself to either of those is wrong. I think you buy wherever the most value is first. If the first auction to come up is Zapdos and it goes for a good deal, I've got Zapdos. If the first auction to come up that goes for a good deal is Charizard, I've got Charizard first. Being as liquid as possible, being ready for whatever comes up. I had an opportunity for $8,300. I bought the entire set from Gary.
Yep.
So I bought them all at once with all the non-hollows. So being as liquid as possible, being ready to pounce when an opportunity comes up. I didn't know substantially like long amount of time before that I was going to have that opportunity to buy it from Gary. But when it came up, I was liquid, I was ready, and boom, I had the whole set all at once. And I probably already had a few of them in PSA 9, so I bought some duplicates, I sold off the others later. And yeah, that's just going to be like universal rule. Don't set yourself, oh, I have to do Charizard first because it's the most expensive. Meanwhile, Venusaur goes for a deal. Meanwhile, Hitmonchan, Mewtwo, Machamp, like don't let deals pass you by because you got your eyes fixated on one card in one grade. The reason guys like Nick and me and Jake, the reasons we can get so many cards for so far under market a lot of times is because we'll buy anything at any time, given it's the right price. If you're looking for one thing at one price, you're just way less likely to make it happen because you're so honed in on one thing, while other deals are always going on around you. Jay talks about the celebrations boxes for Umbreon, Charizard, Blastoise, etc. I didn't see them myself.
celebration boxes for what?
Chinese celebrations boxes for Umbreon, Charizard, Blastoise.
Chinese. Yeah, I did not see those either.
I see them now. They look cool, but I'm just not like. There's so many cool things to buy, and you can't buy it all. So, I didn't go for that one myself. I just got scrolled to the bottom again.
Slack in there.
The Zard Hunter, subscribe so they can hit 1K. Appreciate it. Looks like we're at 807 still.
We got to, is that what we started with today?
Oh, here we go. Colt's got a good idea for you for like a promotion for your website. Anyone who subscribes gets 75% off Nick's website with same-day shipping. I'm down.
There we go.
I mean, I'll greenlight that. Ernesto says everything Dan said about signed cards is incorrect. Ignore Dan on signatures. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Ignore me on everything. I'm one human being with one set of opinions. If I'm stating like actual facts, if I've got the spreadsheet open and I'm just showing you factual numbers, like don't ignore factual numbers. But if I'm just spouting off random opinions, absolutely, like have your own. Don't take mine, don't take Nick's. Listen to what we have to say. We've been around for a while. I think what we say might mean something on certain things more than others, but never just follow anyone blindly. Nobody, ourselves included.
I would say I do think we're wrong on signatures.
Well, the market clearly shows
those have just kept getting more and more popular.
The thing that really turns me off signatures too is I've talked about this before. Anecdotally, I've had friends and people who I know who have gotten in-person signatures from athletes. They sent him in for authentication, denied. And we've seen many examples. Swolepoke Jeremy is a big guy on Instagram who like he probably can authenticate signatures better than PSA can, because he'll post, oh, this one's fake, this one's fake. I don't know what he's going off of to do it, but I would tend to believe him more than I believe PSA. But yeah, examples of fake ones being certified real ones being certified like or not certified. That is a really huge turnoff for me. And I like, if anyone's seen my handwriting, really, really, really bad. If I signed my name 100 times, let alone 10,000 times, every single one would be very, very different. And there's no way anyone could authenticate it. So part of me is like, I just don't believe in a human's ability to with any source, with any sense of like accuracy, to actually authenticate autographs. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, I would go and I would pay $20 to have Arita sign my Charizard, and then I'd send it in, and he like had a hiccup in the middle of it or sneezed, and then like somehow it's inauthentic, and I would just be infuriated. I just don't buy into the whole ability to authenticate, because at the end of the day, if a human can authenticate without seeing them do it, what CGC does, I will say, they put on a different color label and they do it in person only. So the only way you can get a CGC authenticated signature is in-person verification. But with PSA, theoretically, if there are experts out there at PSA who can authenticate a signature, they would be able to replicate them too. That kind of scares me because, oh, well, this one's fake because he didn't loop and swoop and do the right thing here. If they are expert enough to authenticate it, they would be expert enough to replicate it. Would they not? So, like, I mean, I don't know how you can make the argument that people are expert enough to say that something's real or not, because there's so much variance. Even when someone who has good handwriting signs their name 10,000 times, there's a lot of variance. And there's no way that you can't say that one human can't study 100 examples of a Arita signature and then land in between his 10,000 examples. They've got to be able to do it. Like, it's not even, to me, that's objective fact. So I just don't like signatures at all for all those reasons.
I do wonder, like, is like PSA saying this signature is fake? Is that common within sports as well, or is that mainly Pokemon where Arita, Sugimori, they don't sign very much at all compared to some sports players? So I do wonder, is it just because like the Pokemon people's sample size is so small versus sports where there's thousands and thousands of everyone's signature out there?
I have no idea. One thing too that I recently saw, which was hilarious, there was an Upper Deck product that, the question on screen, my Game Boy Color is sealed, but it's not in an acrylic case. Just to hit that one quickly, it's just sealed, but like unprotected back there, I guess. There was an Upper Deck product with a signed on card signature, I believe, that was somehow not authentic signatures. And they like bought the cards back and they got it rectified somehow. It wasn't like a LeBron or some. I wouldn't even be able to find it again probably, but I think I saw it on that card porn Instagram maybe. But there was an on-card auto in a product by Upper Deck, I believe it was, that wasn't even real. Like, how much of a joke can signatures be that somehow Upper Deck is putting out in product signatures that aren't even authentic? Like, holy crap. I just don't like it, any of it. None of it whatsoever. Java says, what if they did artist plus Pokemon artwork on cards with SP style signatures like from Weiss? I would buy them all. That would be sick. It just doesn't appeal to me.
No, still not a fan.
Yeah, like it would appeal to me if it makes the EV of my boxes go way up and I could just mass box break, hit one, and then sell it for a lot of money. I like the thought of that, but I'm just not buying.
That's just making money. That's not actually liking the product.
Yeah. Let's see. We're 30 minutes behind still. So we got to where we're almost only 20 minutes behind, but now we're back to 30.
I'm trying to find where you are. I can't even find where you are here.
I'm at 2:36 p.m. If you put on timestamps. In the three little dot thing, you can put on timestamps. Ernesto says, stop answering the boring questions and get to the spicy ones.
Oh, there we go. Timestamps. What'd you say? 3:37?
Now we're at 2:37. Do you guys think ETBs are bags? Yeah. Oh, shout out TCA Gaming. Rusty just raided us. I see the live chat's going wild.
Man.
Appreciate it, Rusty. Let me show some of these TCA raid chats before we get into more questions.
Yeah, thanks everyone for hopping in.
Appreciate you, Rusty. Appreciate everyone. While you're here, I'm Catch 'em All Collectibles, and this is Old School Pokemon. We run this podcast called PokeFlipz. We're going to be doing it live once a month, just us, and then every other 2 weeks in between. So once a month in between guests, we'll have guests. Those won't all be live, but we're doing the ones with just us live. 2 weeks from now, we just so happen to be doing another live, and that's with Charlie Herlocker. Charlie Collects on Instagram. So if you want to get a taste of that moving ahead, feel free to like and subscribe while you're here. There you go. There's Rusty's comment.
Thanks, Rusty, for sending everyone over. Do appreciate that.
Very much appreciate it.
Hope your stream went well and you were able to hopefully finish VMAX Climax.
Was he still? I was going to ask. Was he still going on VMAX Climax?
I believe he is.
Rusty, let us know in the comments. Where are you at, Rusty, now? Are you still doing VMAX Climax? That's crazy. I'm going to roll back to the questions, though, so we can continue ahead. Do we think ETBs are bags?
We left off on?
Yeah. Nice thing about this OBS plugin is it highlights it for me. So I like ETBs a lot. I think I liked them before they were hip. I finished my ETB collection before they kind of went to the moon, and I sold them all off subsequently. because they, like in 2020 when everything went to the moon, those were kind of late, and in 2021 they went up. I sold them. I like them a lot. I like the art. I like that you get the sleeves and the dice and that booklet. I really like the booklet inside of them. So as far as like opening one, keeping one sealed, they just became so much space they took up. And one bit of information that was always out there was like, oh, ETBs are never reprinted. They were never reprinted until they were. And then that like hammered down the prices on a lot of them. Vivid Voltage ETBs went from 100, 120 to 35 now, and they're not selling. So they're risky. They're risky to buy thinking they're only going to go up, like any other ultra modern product that's still within the 2-year print window, or like Evolution's maybe a 4 or 5 year print window. So I think if you're buying them at 30 to 35 a piece, I mean, wholesale, I pay 25. So if you're getting them in the high 20s, low 30s, you're doing fine. And as long as you buy them with the right intent, if you buy them because you enjoy them and you don't think they're going to 10x in 2 years, they're not bags. If you're buying them at $50 a piece, FOMOing in, thinking they're going to 10x in 2 years, then they're bags to me. So it's all about intent and price point.
Yeah, I think as like a collection display piece, I actually like sealed ETBs over booster boxes. I think the ETBs look a lot better. But from like buying to invest, I like the idea of booster boxes more than ETBs. Just because I think I like having those like the guaranteed kind of odds within booster boxes. You get so many hits within a box, where ETBs sometimes they follow that rule, other times not so much. Plus booster boxes are a lot easier to ship than ETBs.
Yeah, like a item volume per dollar is just lower. Like it's a bulkier item for less money, so it cuts into the margins when you're selling a $40 retail product and the shipping costs $10. Whereas in booster boxes, at least like 140 is the retail, but they generally go for around 100. So it's only 10% of the gross price, the shipping cost. Whereas ETBs, it's nearly like 25%. That is tough.
Well, the other thing is, booster boxes you can mail in flat rate envelopes, where ETBs, they're just at £3 and you have to mail in a regular box.
Yep. And I will say, people let us know in chat, Rusty still needs 2 cards for VMAX Climax. I think I ordered 100 boxes, and I think he ordered 600. I don't know how many deep he is. If anyone knows, let us know in the comments how many boxes deep is Rusty. He might need to like buy more. Rusty, hit me up if you want to buy my 100 boxes of VMAX Climax. Absolutely insane. For everyone who just joined too, I should have mentioned, we're doing like a live Q&A. We're hanging out for another hour and a half still. So leave a question in the comments if you want us to answer it. We're little ways behind now. I think we're about 25 minutes behind, but we'll do our best to catch up and hit everyone's questions.
Yeah, let's get some rapid fire questions going on here.
Yeah. Here's a really good question from John related to sports. So Trey Lance, a quarterback that played 26 games at North Dakota State, so like not a premier football school, and only a few games in the NFL, some of his rookies go for 6 figures. With the popularity in Pokemon, why are there so few cards less than 6 figures? Sports has that. I'm sure that those ones going for 6 figures are 1 of 1s, 1 of 5s, signatures, patches, whatever. Sports really has the I never liked the artificial scarcity because it is actual scarcity, but like the contrived scarcity going on, and it works really well. We've talked about it before. We've been asked if and when Pokemon ever does it, a 1 of 1 Charizard, a 1 of 10 Charizard. That's Pokemon's holding themselves back on that front more than ever. Probably for the better, probably for the greater health of the hobby, but someday maybe they will. So sports is doing that by design. Pokemon's chosen not to, because they're printing 10,000 to 100,000 of the Moonbreons, somewhere in there probably. And if they were to make in Evolving Skies, say keep the Moonbreon, same pull rate, same number, somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000. If they took 10 of them randomly and label them 1 through 10 out of 10. I don't know what it would be exactly, but it would be a lot of money. Maybe not quite 6 figures, but it would be up there. And yeah, just crazy.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree with you on that one.
Your average player asks, question, if a BBCE style grader would ever start with Pokemon, who should lead it and could it ever be reputable? Sealed product is really, really tough. Guys like Rusty, guys like Scott, guys like Gary have stated, I could not 100% authenticate a box without opening it. And even then, check out some videos by PK, Poke Knowledge Cards. He's done some really good-looking reseals. And yeah, so like there's the risk that people could get the outer seal right. This new BBCE style company could unwrap it, could weigh out the packs. Somebody could have resealed those inner packs too. Like I just don't like any part of it. I wouldn't want to touch any part of it. And I've opened dozens of WotC boxes. I'm pretty comfortable with it, but still never comfortable enough to bet $10,000 on it, let alone $300,000 for base. So in a perfect world, it would be like Rusty, but he'd have to go inside of the box. He might even have to go inside of one pack randomly and then reseal it all up and tape it and sign it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to have to be at some point. I really don't think that you're going to be able to authenticate and grade sealed boxes. I think it's going to be like a case like what Rusty did when he sold his box to Logan Paul, or bought the box and then later on sold it to Logan Paul, where he actually opened the box and then put those tamper-proof stickers on all the seals. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think it would be I think it would definitely have to be Rusty, and then Charlie or Scott too, someone who's been in the hobby for a long time and knows what they're talking about when it comes to boxes.
Yeah, and when those people themselves are saying, I wouldn't touch it, who are you going to turn to next?
Yeah.
John's got some really good questions here. If Pokemon was your full-time job, so let's pretend as if Pokemon is our full-time job, and you could only make money by traditionally investing, 5+ years of sitting on things, and no quick flips, what would your strategy look like? So let me put myself in this scenario. Let me pretend as if it's like, I don't know, this is actually my exact scenario. And what I do is S&P 500 funds, not financial advice, S&P 500 funds in Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, and 401ks. Tax sheltered accounts, broad index funds. I bet on the advancement of humanity, society, the United States, and I don't touch it. I don't buy, I don't sell, I don't time the market. Time in the market, not timing the market. With traditional stuff, not with cardboard. What about you?
I'm a lesser extent of what you just said there. Much lesser extent. That's something I definitely need to get better at. But aside from that, also gold and silver. I'm fairly big into that, but yeah, that's what I would go with. For Pokemon, it's mainly my collection is set aside for the long term, but that's really no like investment thing. And then it's just buying and reselling to make money. Here's a good one. Do you think, not that we need more questions, do you think you could ever be a Jake of Pokemon, where it is like these long-term investing, you're researching, looking at these cards, figuring out what's undervalued and all of that? You still there?
I just completely lost your audio for some reason. It looks like it's still coming through. It looks like it's still coming through to the stream, but for some reason I don't have it. Let me see if I can get it back. Can you talk again?
Can you hear me now?
I hear, yeah, I don't know what just happened, but my earbuds just like completely, I didn't hear your whole answer to that, but I'm sure it was amazing, and I'm sure the stream loved it. Please confirm quickly in the stream if you can still hear Nick, because for a little bit I couldn't, but now I can again. Sorry for that.
It's probably your cheap headphones there. Got to invest in the quality Apple products.
Well, it's funny. It should have had no effect on the stream. It should have had no effect on my earbuds. But I refreshed my browser that had the live stream pulled up so I could see if we gained any new subs. We did gain like 20. So shout out TCA Gaming. Really appreciate that. But for some reason, right when I refreshed it, I lost all audio. Like, why would I lose? Like, yeah, it makes no sense. There's no reason that those two things would be linked. But I won't do that again. I promise. We're back though. We're good to go. I don't think they lost you. Yeah, Nick never dropped, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
John, one after another, like he came in and he's just like, let me drop some great questions. Why do historical items go for so much less than this modern scarcity limited number crap? Very, very good question. It's mind blowing. But like you can buy signed stuff, and I know James and Cameron have talked about this on the Never Punished podcast they do. You can buy like George Washington signatures. You can buy like Benjamin Franklin signed letters and documents. You can buy, I think the Declaration of Independence recently sold. One of the 20-something copies they have sold for like $20 million, which relative to some of the sports cards and like. It is really crazy that ultra modern one of one that they can print another one of next year goes for like 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. And then some of these really historical things, like you could probably buy a George Washington signature for like a few grand or something. I don't know why it doesn't.
They were looking it up when they were doing that podcast, and there was like active listings for like 10 to 15,000.
Yeah, like it doesn't fully makes sense. In some ways I understand it and I get it because George Washington is historic. He was our first president. He's on the dollar bill. But a lot of people don't care. Like a lot of people just care more about the latest and greatest Pokemon set that everyone's pumping. No one's pumping George Washington on YouTube. Sorry if someone is in that cross niche. They enjoy Pokemon and they enjoy George Washington YouTube content, but I've never seen any of it. So it is mind-blowing. I don't fully get it, but in other ways I do kind of get it. But honestly, I think 100 years from now, George Washington's signature will be worth more than a lot of the 5 and 6 figure sports cards today, than a lot of the 5 and 6 figure Pokemon cards today, even. So that's my maybe hot take there at the end.
I can like who wants these historical items? I would much rather have Pokemon cards than a George Washington signature or something like that, something historical like that, like the original Declaration of Independence, one of the original printings of that. Who cares? Why I don't understand why people like that stuff. So I can see why cards are worth more than all of these historical items and stuff like that.
What about in 100 years though? What's worth more?
I think it'll still be like the whatever the new pop culture thing is. Pokemon sports
I'm
cards,
not comparing.
whatever that new thing is in 100 years.
There'll be a one of one. Like 100 years from now, he'll be like my 5th great grandson or something, like great grandson winning the Super Bowl in his rookie year. His one of one rookie patch auto will be worth like $5 million or something. But today's ones, when who was the athlete he talked about? Trey Lance. That card will be worth nothing. George Washington will be worth 50 grand instead of 10 grand, and my great grandson's rookie card will be worth 5 million.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So yeah.
The general trajectory of like an ultra modern pop culture collectible, and anyone who's seen Sean Reserved Investments, if he sees this clip, I think he'd really like it. The general trajectory for most of these things, whether they're Beanie Babies, Pokemon cards, Lionel trains, beer steins, sitting cuties even, I hate to say it, 99% plus of these things will never become historic. They will never, like, they come out, a lot of hype, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm around them. Prices might go up. then they just trickle down to zero over the next, whether it's 6 months in the case of Furbies and Beanie Babies and things like that, or whether it's 10, 20, 50 years. But I think an Illustrator could be worth something. I think a PSA 10 base first Charizard could be worth something in 100 years, but a lot of things won't be. 99% or more, minimum, is my thought.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there.
Can we do a Skyridge pack giveaway? I don't have any to give away myself.
No, neither do I.
DeGreen Shiz asks, what is your least favorite item to sell and why? For me, and I don't even sell them on eBay anymore, because for a while I was selling just the newest Ultra Modern Booster Box set, and maybe I had bad luck, maybe I just had a bad luck streak, but it was like, it was probably due to the time. The wrapping this seems resealed, this seems like it could be fake. The wrapping has a little wrinkle in it and I'd rather send it back. I want a refund. That was infuriating to have so many people condition worried over like an ultra modern booster box that I was getting direct from distribution in bad condition. So like selling any item as a sealed product to a sealed collector. Like I want to sell a sealed product to somebody who's going to open it, because selling to sealed collectors is really, really tough because the quality control to begin with is not great. So selling anything ungraded, I guess even raw cards in general. So anything ungraded raw, like I only do graded stuff on eBay, generally speaking, or just singles I list as near mint.
So you're talking like 95% of what I do. You don't like doing.
Yep.
For me, it would be I'll obviously sell anything. But for me, it would be stuff like selling Pokemon cards. There's only a certain amount of different packaging combinations that you're going to need, like single cards, top loaders, booster boxes. I put in empty ETB boxes and mail them that way. It's a lot of just envelopes and bubble mailers and small boxes, but anything that like breaks that combination of packaging is the stuff that I really don't like mailing. Like collection boxes, the ultra premium collections from Celebrations. That stuff that it was really hard to mail as is, and you have to, for me anyways, it's easier to break it down than to sell it as is. So I would say those would be my least favorite things to sell.
Yeah. Mr. Walrus asked, besides bills, food, and rent, how do you not fall for the cards you need to sell and keep forever? There's always more to get. There's always more to chase. So like if I keep everything, I'm going to go broke and I'm not going to be able to meet my savings goals and I'm not going to be able to put food on the table. So yeah, I've got to sell to keep things moving, and I want to sell to be able to buy more. So sell at market, buy under market, repeat, and there's still cards that I've never owned, but if I keep selling, keep flipping, keep building up, I might get to own someday. And not forever, but just passing through my hands, like some of the really early Japanese trophies, TMB, SSB, Trophy Pikas, Illustrators probably off the table, but yeah. I'm very happy just owning something for a short time and then moving it on.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I always liked what Mason used to say, how he has like a revolving collection of different collections that he purchases for resale for his store. That's kind of my philosophy. I like being able to buy collections, to resell them, go through all those cards and all of that stuff. But then when comes time to get everything listed on eBay and start selling it, I also do enjoy that process as well. So I spend more time doing like resale stuff, and I enjoy that aspect more so than I enjoy like collecting for myself.
Ancient Mew asks, on Pack Fresh cards, is centering the hardest to get 10s in? PSA is pretty, like 60-40 is what they allow. 60-40 looks pretty bad. 60-40 is like fairly off center. I always thought that they allow 10s on cards that are too far off center for my taste. So to me, that might be one of the easier. Maybe it's like surface. It depends on the area you're talking about. If you're talking about WotC, it might be surface. So many print lines on some of those cards. If it's mid-era, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White, Call Legends, Platinum, Diamond, Pearl, tons of white dots on the back corners, so maybe it's edges, but very dependent on the card you're talking about.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I would say for modern, at least from my small sample size, they are very strict on centering. Or either that or someone was having a bad day. Because I sent in the alt art Dialga, Palkia, and Starmie from Astral Radiance, and I got 2 8s and 1 9. And I thought for sure I was going to get all 9s and 10s.
Dark Lava.
Yeah. I like that one.
I wasn't gonna read that one, but I popped it up there. Yeah, my merch line. There's gonna be some quotes out there if I ever do one for sure. Dark Lava Lizard asks, will we ever get a set again that has card layouts from WotC Media Factory? That's all any of us really want.
I don't think it'll ever happen. Because that's what we want, but that's not what little kids today would want. So it would be interesting to see how a set like that would go over. Like how would a WotC set today go over? I don't know how it would be.
We'll get them in reprints, like celebrations, but that's probably it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm caught up to where Rusty rated us. So I'm working through all those now, looking for the next question. Is Russian base set a myth? I don't believe Russian was one of... I believe they did 13 languages. 13 sounds right.
13 sounds right.
I think I opened all of them except for English. Let me see how many I can get off the top of my head, and then you help me out once I peter out. So English, Dutch, German, Italian, French, Spanish, Korean, Chinese. I don't think I said Japanese. I'm at 9.
Yeah. I don't think you said Portuguese.
I don't think I said Portuguese, so 10.
That's 10.
Did I say Dutch?
That's all of them that I know. Oh, or you said Japanese. Yeah.
Did I say Dutch? I probably said Dutch.
You did say Dutch. I don't know. Did you say English?
Yeah, I started with English.
Okay.
So maybe it's 11. Maybe it's 11, not 13. I don't believe Russian was one of them, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know there are a few Russian cards just from Quador's posts on E4. But I don't think one of them was base set.
Yeah, I think that's a myth. Ooh.
Oh, I guess we forgot Chinese.
Oh. I thought I said that, but maybe not. There's a list out there somewhere, I'm sure. Go check Bulbapedia. I probably should have just pulled up Bulbapedia and read it, but I went for it.
Yeah, that's a lot more exciting.
Oh, so Max, the guy who asked, I collect base, jungle, and fossil in every language. Bulbapedia claims there's a Russian base set, but I can't find anything about it. So, yeah, I've opened. I have an empty box lying around everywhere. I do have an empty English box that I just bought empty, but all the other ones, I opened them myself, and Russian was definitely not one of them. I'd definitely check with Rusty in one of his live streams. I'd check with, hit us up in 2 weeks, Charlie, but I'd assume it's the same answer. Oh, so here's a follow-up. I asked how many VMAX Climax boxes Rusty was in. 130 to 150.
Wow. That's crazy.
Professor Oak asked PokeFlipz stickers when?
There we
haven't
go.
done any
That's
merch
what we
yet, but yeah. Are there any non-US Poke boxes you think will fly off shelves / collections next? This is probably in regards to me talking about Korean CP6. I would not be speculating on foreign niche collectors boxes. the person who bought them, I hope they were buying them for their collection. I hope they weren't buying them intending them to go up. But who knows? 5 or 10 years from now, I could look really silly if those things sell for 10,000 a piece. I would be shocked. But I guess I was already shocked selling them what I sold them for.
Yeah, I would be surprised by that as well.
Joshua War asks, thoughts on Pokemon Center Celebrations ETBs? I bought like 60 of them from the secondary market on eBay. So I really like them. I love Celebrations, and I stocked up on them.
You didn't get... Did you like buy... Do you have like a ton of them then, or did you just like not buy them off the Pokemon Center? Because the Pokemon Center website offered those for like forever, it seems.
I bought a few directly, and I guess I didn't realize how long they were up, because I probably only bought like 24 myself. I probably only bought 4 like 6 times or so. And at one point when I went to go buy more, they were gone. So I just went to eBay. There were people that must have been just selling them for break even on eBay, because I want to say with eBay bucks, with incentives and everything, I was only paying like, I made a video on it back when I did it. I think I was only paying 75 a piece on average. And I think they were 60 through Pokemon Center plus tax and all that. And that's the nice thing about buying them on eBay. I wasn't paying sales tax because they were for resale, whereas Pokemon Center doesn't take the retail certificate. So,
yep. Yeah, I like the I do like the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, and I hope they keep going with those going forward. Now that they started, they can't stop it.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not a big variant guy. That was part of my decision to get out of my ETB collection, was the fact that they started making a new variant. I didn't want to collect another variant moving ahead, so I just got rid of all of them. Mm-hmm. You want to go for the next question?
Sure. How do you know whether feelings of FOMO are worth pursuing for an item versus when it might become damaging? That's a tough one right there. I've had both kind of circumstances play out where I have FOMO over something, I end up buying it, and it works out really good. And then I've had the opposite where I've had FOMO to buy something, I've bought it, and it works out absolutely terribly, and I lose money on it. So I would say, like, with that, you need like the more experience you have, the better off you're going to be with that. Some of the best resale purchases that I've made have just been more or less a quick negotiation with someone and me knowing that there's a lot of value within this collection versus me going through making a spreadsheet of each individual card, offering whatever percent. That's definitely the smarter way to go about it, but there's definitely opportunity with like quick transactions and not spending the time to go through each individual card. But so yeah, like a gut feeling can definitely be beneficial, but it can also be detrimental too.
I would say if you feel FOMO, maybe not never go for it, but like really, it all depends on your broader financial situation. Like if it comes down to, I'm gonna FOMO into this, and if it goes poorly, I don't make rent, I don't pay my bills on time, or putting it on credit, never FOMO that deep. Never. If it comes down to, I might lose some money that I can afford to lose, yeah, maybe let a little bit of FOMO happen. But ideally, FOMO is bad, impatience is bad, missing things is fine. Like that's probably a revelation to some people. Some people will hear it and they won't believe me. Missing things is fine though. We got a Charizard collection coming out this fall. We've got the Precious collection coming out from Japan. They're going to come out with a brand new set of 100 to 150 species with Scarlet and Violet, new games, every year. There's 4 new sets. There's 2 new mini sets. Like thousands of arts, thousands of amazing things to collect. It's fine to miss some. That would be my answer. Here's one that I hear a lot. Ancient Mew, do you guys think reprints have even tougher pull rates? I think every print, every product has the same pull rates. People are just really bad at doing math. And when you open one 3-pack blister and you hit the Moonbreon forever, the rest of your life, you think 3-pack blisters have good pull rates, even though no one has a big enough data pool to like when the chase cards are 1 out of 1,000. If you're not opening 50,000 packs, you don't have a very good data set. When the chase cards are that rare, and no one's opening that many packs, as far as I know. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I for like Pokemon, who's printing all these cards, what's their incentive to have better pull rates in the first print run and worse print rates in the second, third, fourth print runs? Their cost is the same to print common cards or alt arts. It's not costing them any more or less to print these cards.
Their alt art cost would definitely be higher. It's fancier, it's got more stuff going on, but probably not significantly higher.
I doubt it's that much higher.
It would definitely be higher, though. I mean, it's got to be. To print an energy card versus an alt art, just printing 300 million of a fire energy versus 300 million of an Umbreon alt art. Like, it's more expensive raw materials for sure.
I guess a little bit.
But given the profit margin,
I'm interested to hear that. I feel like it's a are we talking like
it's probably a rounding error in there?
Are we talking a fraction of a cent?
Oh, it's probably like it's a rounding error in their net margin on the product, so it probably doesn't really even matter much. Like, yeah, if they go from 2 hits per case to 1 hit per case, it's not gonna show up anywhere. They're gonna make an extra $50 across their 9 billion cards. But yeah, there could be something going on, but when someone's proof is that I opened 1 ETB originally and I got no hits, and then I opened 1 ETB of the reprint and I got a hit. Proven. Like, that's not how it works. And I've seen, I watch a decent amount of Danny Phantom videos, and I think he does a bit clickbaiting type thing, because it's YouTube and you gotta play the game. But I watched one recently where he hit 2 alt arts in 1 box, and I think he put something in the title like, do reprints have more alt arts, or something like pulling 2 alt arts from 1 box, do reprints have more hits. Like, he's playing the game. Right towards the beginning of the video, he actually said like he has no expectation that there would be more or less hits, and then he goes on to just have a hot opening video, and then he like kind of plays the game a little bit, and I think puts it in people's minds that maybe I think it's all just variance.
Yeah, exactly.
We're only 20 minutes behind now. Let's rapid fire a little bit. Do you think in our lifetime close to all WotC boxes will be opened? No.
I would agree with you. I don't think so. I think
what's close?
I would say first base will probably have majority of the boxes opened within our lifetime.
I would say a majority of them are open. A majority being over 50%. Over 50% of them are already opened. But do you mean by almost all? Does that mean less than 100 remaining of each? No, there will be more than 100 remaining 50 years from now. Of most sets, maybe not base first, maybe not like EX Deoxys, which isn't WotC anyways. But yeah, some of it depends on what you mean. I think 50 years from now, there will still be over 1,000 base unlimited sealed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Matt M says Top should release a new Pokemon Chrome set with serialized cards, maybe even signed cards by artists. I think that would be awesome. Alongside the TCG, so that people can't have like that whole entitled whining about it. Oh, I need these for my decks and now they're expensive, now they're blah blah blah. Have it be a separate product, like a flawless. You buy a whole suitcase and you open it up and there's like 5 cards in there.
I think it would have to be something like that, versus them inserting 1 of 1s, 1 of 10s into like the standard sets.
Here's one from DNA. Are either of you buying PSA 10s in the current market for your long-term growth part of your PC, or are you only grading cards and keeping certain 10s?
I don't keep any 10s. All the 10s that I get go up for sale.
There we go. Paper hands. Let's go. Me too. Very, very infrequently do I keep 10s. I have some. The only ones that I have are more likely like art academies that I just am more bullish on long term due to the card, not due to the grade. So I have probably more than 100 of them that either I have listed really high or I don't have listed, but disproportionately they're just good cards, not due to the grade. Generally speaking, 10s just get sold to buy more cards and grade more 10s. I don't know the answer to this one at all. Max asked, does Pokemon Japan decide what will be printed in English, or do you have any idea how any of these decisions are made? I have no idea how they decide what promos make what sets get. Yeah, like Eevee Heroes comes out. Some of it goes to Evolving Skies. Some of it we don't get. Some of it goes to the other set. Some of it becomes a promo. No idea how any of that works. Charlie might have a little more insight. I know Charlie buys through like Japanese distribution. He does English distribution. He knows a lot of like big people in higher up places. So this might be a question for like 2 weeks from now, and you might get more insight.
Yeah, definitely.
Catch 'em all Dan Burner account. Declaration of Independence. Who cares? Not even PSA 10. It's not even a Prism red serialized variant. So we talked on this a little bit recently. Bondo Snipes asks, any opinions on the new information released about the Charizard UPC coming out this fall? How will the hype be in comparison to something like the Celebrations UPC?
I don't know much about the product, but I don't think it'll be quite the same as the 25th anniversary Ultra Premium Collection. Just because that was a different time than this is going to be. That was the 25th anniversary. It was a specialty product of a specialty set. So where this is kind of going to be like all of Sword and Shield, or for the most part, most of Sword and Shield. I don't think it'll be as popular, but who knows with having the 3 Charizards.
Yeah, to me, it all comes down to if I'm allocated 4 of them, if I'm allocated 1 case, it comes down to supply, right? If allocations are super limited, they can go really high, higher than they should probably. If I ask for 80, I probably won't get to ask. They'll just tell me what I'm getting. But if I'm allowed to ask, yeah, I'm gonna ask for 400. I'm gonna ask for some stupid number because it has Charizard in it, and I'll take the risk. I don't think there's a lot of risk there getting in at wholesale pricing. But yeah, it all comes down to supply. My guess would be it's gonna go up a lot of money. And the first graded Charizards are going to go for a lot of money, and then they're going to go down, and in 100 years they're going to be worth nothing. But George Washington will still be worth something. That's my total guess on the...
Let's say, completely hypothetical, Celebrations and this new Sword and Shield have the exact same print run. Which is worth more?
To me, I like the Celebrations more because I like the metal cards. I really like those a lot. I love the Celebration set. We don't know what, like as you said earlier, we don't know what packs are going to be in them. I know that the Celebrations ones have Celebrations in them, which I really liked. I would lean Celebrations. I think the market, just due to the anniversary, due to Celebrations, I think the market would lean that way too. Metal Charizard versus 3 Charizard promos versus 1. But that one being much more unique. First time
we've ever had a metal card.
Yeah, much more unique. So 5-10 years from now, if I had to pick one, get on that.
Mr. Mod's on it.
Yeah, you got him. Look, we made it. Our brand new channel. We go live. Our first live. We get the bots, so we're good to go. We know we made it. Josh, the Green Shiz Collectibles, wants to know how you got the nickname Brune Dog.
That's definitely a story for Long Beach.
Oh, there we go. Oh man. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. You replied. um,
Uh,
I do remember Russian Flashfire specifically. I got back into the hobby during Phantom Forces. Flashfire was only 2 sets prior, so Flashfire was pretty hype when I got in. And I remember there being Russian ones. I never picked any up. I'd be curious what the Russian Flashfire goes for now. It was probably much cheaper than the English one back then, similar to how the Korean Evolutions was cheaper. And I didn't intentionally make a play on it. I just bought some as a collector because the boxes were different and looked cool. But I'd be curious what the Russian Evolution or Russians Flashfire packs would be worth right now in boxes. Max wants to get a job in a printing factory so I can hijack the machines and make super rare error cards. Any tips? Tip 1 would be don't post that on YouTube with what looks like your full name as your username. Because now, if Millennium Print Group is watching, they've got your name on their watch list. So your application will probably be denied. Sorry.
oh man.
That's funny.
I would say probably hollow shifts would be my favorite. So make sure you have a bunch of those.
Yeah. Pikachu card with a paw print signature when Professor Oak. He's trying to make his Pikachu what do they call it? The registry set even more complicated. Are there any affordable uncut sheets? Maybe modern, like under 1,000. I think there's definitely some sheets under 1,000.
I would think it would have to be like those action flip cards, or I don't think there's any sheets of like TCG sheets that are under 1,000. I would be surprised by that.
You don't think the Neo Genesis common would be?
Oh no, that's like $500-$600.
That's under 1,000.
Oh, I thought you were saying under 100.
No, under 1,000. Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's some options under 100. Or, yeah, under 1,000. You got me saying 100 now. The Neo Genesis. Yeah, the Neo Genesis common and uncommon was the first one that came to mind. Not really what you're asking, I'm sure, but there's the Burger King sheets, 3x3, 9 cards. That's probably not what you were looking for, but Nick probably has a fat stack. I know I have a stack somewhere that's not listed. I sold PSA 8 perforated, so I pulled the Charizard off. I sold 3. I got 3 PSA 8 perforated Charizards. They sold for like $60 a piece. So when we get $10 grading back, I'm just gonna tear up all my sheets and submit them all, and that'll probably be a bad idea, but Dark Lava Lizard asks, Dan, if you wanted to optimize slabs, how come you never use BGS? The market seems to value them more than CGC in the 99.5 grade. Personally, I don't like them, but the market doesn't care about me. Yeah, that's a very good point. I heard their submission form got better. It got slightly modernized. Part of it is just like there's a lot of places that I could be making money that I'm not pursuing because I don't have the time. And when you make such an archaic website that is going to take me, like, I already hate submitting to PSA and CGC. That's why I used middlemen a lot back in the day. But if you're going to make the submission process worse, I'm just less likely to use you. I'm going to use that time that I save submitting the BGS to take up another avenue that I'm not currently doing to make money. Because I have a list of maybe 50 things that I could be doing that I'm not actively doing. So BGS is one of them, but it's like way down on the list.
I would also add to that. I like selling stuff that I actually like to some extent. So like if I don't like something, I'm not gonna sell it. And for me, I really don't like BGS, so I'm not going to start getting all these BGS cards in, trying to sell them, because if I don't sell them, I'm gonna be stuck with them myself, and I really don't like BGS.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the same page. Here we go. We just promoted Professor Oak to the big leagues. He asked for the wrench, he gets the wrench.
Oh, our first moderator.
We'll see who can win the next race the next time the bots come in. Josh says, if I had $1 for every YouTube Oak mod, I'd be retired. You go into shout out Professor Oak. He does a lot of nice live streams. I've caught a couple of them live. It is Wrench City up in there. If you comment in one of his live streams while he's live, I think that's the sole requirements for having a wrench, because I have one over there too. Pretty much everyone does.
There was one live stream that I was doing. I think it was like either earlier this week or last week. And yeah, like everyone in the chat was a mod.
Yeah. So I will say now, the backlog, we've trimmed it from, I mean, PSA's gone from 13 million, 12 million, 13 million cards down to like 2 million. We've taken our backlog from 30 minutes plus down to about 3 minutes. So if you've got questions, we've got 86 people watching. Feel free to pop them in the chat, build up that backlog. Planning to go for another 39 minutes. 4:30 is quitting time. I hit the bottom of the chat. Professor Oak, he has so many wrenches in his chat because he loves keeping us all safe. So when the bots come in, it's like piranhas. They're just feeding frenzy. They're gone in an instant. So yeah, we're live. We're caught up. What's on your mind? We've got free reign here. I don't know what to do now.
We can do anything we want to do. One thing that I found interesting, that I've been kind of looking into a little bit, not Pokemon related, but eBay related. Have you heard about Germany's new recycling mailing requirements? Like if you're mailing packages to Germany?
No.
Did you hear about that whole thing?
Nope.
Oh, well, so they're making you, so like Germany's starting like to be more green and recycle more and all that stuff. They passed a law saying that you have to sign up through some company to be eligible to mail packages to Germany. And even if you sell through GSP, you have to still register with this website to sell through Germany. And I tried that process, and it is the most confusing process that I have ever tried to deal with. So I just removed Germany from the places that I ship to because I did not want to deal with that.
I wonder if it will do that by default if I don't. Because like, what happens? All my items have GSP. So what will happen if someone buys from me and I go to print my label?
It'll go through, but you might get fined. So you need to manually go in and say that you don't want to ship to Germany anymore.
I see it. The German Packaging Act. Sorry, Germany.
Yes.
I'm I'm making a note right now. Look into the German Packaging Act and remove Germany. If your government doesn't want me to do business with you, that's not on me. It's not on you either, and I feel bad, but that's insane. Stuff like that. Like, I get the intent, but it just punishes people who live in Germany and want to buy, like, because I get it to some extent, like all these import taxes, all these different laws and regulations, they want to stimulate their own economy. They want people to buy from internal to their country instead of buying worldwide. When you're talking about like household wares, when you're talking about random things that you can just get, yeah, go to your local store, buy it, don't go online, buy. I get it. But when you're talking about like a PSA 3 base first Charizard, or like there might be no one in Germany that has it. So when you're buying an item that just no one has and you need to import it, I don't get why they make all these like really harsh punishments, 25%, 35% VATs, or you need to, yeah, like no one's going to ship anything to Germany anymore. It's just crazy. Like they might be, if I had to guess, Germany is 0.05% of my total gross. Like it's probably so minimal. But if you're living in Germany, if you're a German, 80% of your orders might come from US GSP sellers. So yeah, like that's really unfortunate and crazy to me.
I think that the principle behind it makes sense to me, because it's not saying that we don't want international people to be mailing stuff to Germany. It's all it is it's saying that your packaging materials that you're using to send to Germany are recyclable and fall under this certain criteria. So the principle behind it makes sense, but the difficulty of signing up with whatever this like government agency and like getting all your information in there is like impossibly hard.
Yeah, to me, like just charge a little more money, increase the import tax rate a little bit, and then put that money towards programs that recycle, that like clean up the forests and the natural park, like the national parks of Germany or something. Like that's just like a common thing with our government, with international governments. They have good intentions, but horrible executions, horrible like. Yeah, it is. I think we've got some questions coming up now, so we can get off the. It's a little bit political, I guess. The whole governmental regulations. Dark Lava Lizard asks if I'm going to grade my Kiwi Game Boy Color. I might. I bought it sealed with intent to potentially grade it. I kind of want to keep it though. The problem is if I grade it, I'll probably see what it's worth and then think like, oh yeah, I'm going to sell that. So I think only VGA does it too. I do want to though, just get experience. I want to experience it for myself, submitting to both WADA and VGA just to understand the process. If it's anything like BGS's, which I've heard VGA's might be, it might be a one and done scenario. But yeah, we'll have to see. Oh man, we had a lot of questions come in, so we better get rolling. Julia asks,
the chat definitely picked up.
Yeah, if they release a new evolution in Gen 9, which type would you like to see? If they released a dragon type evolution, I bet it would have expensive cards. Yeah, that's a good bet, I think. Me personally, let's go Ghost. I want Ghost evolution.
Ooh, that would be cool.
What's your pick?
I'm gonna go Darkness, because there's a lot of cool dark Pokemon.
What about Umbreon?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, yeah, they're not. I'm like, there's no way Nick's gonna pick one that's already done, right? He knows the evolutions. Oh. Don't tell me you're gonna pick another one. Let's see. We got Nick on the hot seat now. Let's see what he picks next.
We do.
You know, like a fire one would be so cool. Imagine if they did a fire one.
I like that. I like that idea.
So who are you picking?
I'm terrible at these questions. I'll take a pass on this one.
Bug. We could go Bug. We could go.
Bugs are stupid. No.
It'd be weird. What else are we missing though? We've got, what do we got? We got Fire, Water, Electric. We got Dark, Psychic. We've got Fairy, Grass, Ice. Is that all of them? I believe that's all 8.
I think you said all of them.
So we could go Dragon. We could go Ghost. We could go Bug. We could go like Ground, Rock, whatever. There's definitely a few more options out there, but I'm sticking with Ghost though.
I like your idea of Ghost. See, I am not the creative person. I'm more of the person who sees something and likes it, but actually coming up with that idea is someone else.
Yeah. You have to buy and open an E-Series booster box and all packs inside. Which do you open and why?
I'd probably go with Expedition, actually. Just because Expedition has the best Mew artwork of all time. And you have multiple Charizards within Expedition. That's probably from like the sets that I'm like familiar with, that's probably like my favorite E-Series set. Like between Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge. I know Expedition the best, and so I kind of like Expedition the best, I guess. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah, I wanted to ensure. I was pretty sure it was 8, so I was right. I'll have to get a new poster if they make a ghost one. That's the only issue. But I believe there's something like I think we were asked it in another podcast, or I saw it come up in a live somewhere. But I think there's like 16 different types if you count everything. Like, there's not that many energy cards. Yeah, in the TCG, there's not that many energy cards, obviously, but there is like there's we mentioned bug, dragon, ground. There's a handful of types like in the game that aren't in the cards. So yeah, fighting. Ghost would be my pick. As far as the E-Series booster box goes, I opened one Expedition, one Skyridge, and I opened like 2 or 3 Aquapolis because at the time they were just more available for whatever reason when I was opening them. I enjoy them all a lot, and I would honestly lean... I would kind of lean Aquapolis maybe, but since I've opened so many already, I might go Expedition. Like, all 3 are great, and it would be awesome to open any of them, but I would probably go Expedition for having just not seen as much. Like Skyridge, I did also only open once, but I would lean towards Expedition for just not... I see more Skyridge cards. It gets a little more like hype with the Skyridge, with the Crystal Charizard and all that. So to me, yeah, Expedition for just being a little bit more of a sleeper, maybe. Did you ever go back and watch the trailer for Scarlet Violet?
I did not, no.
Well, your average player is asking us our thoughts on the new Crystal Pokemon, and you, I guess you still can't answer.
That one's all you.
My answer is the same as before. I'm in like a holding pattern on making any reactionary statements or anything. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not overly upset by them. I'm not overly hyped for them. It is what it is, and let's wait and see. DNA with the solid question here. Here's a good question. How does it feel to be caught up on questions? Feels bad because
feels fantastic.
Well, we're not anymore like because you asked that question, DNA, so you're adding to our backlog. It feels bad. Ancient Mew asks, what are some cards you guys would love to see in the 30-year anniversary?
I would say, I think we got a similar question at one point, and about making a set, and I said Shining Gyarados was the one card that was missing from Celebrations that we needed for the 30th anniversary set.
Yep. That would be cool. Yeah, give me like into like the new. By that point, it'll be 5 years old or 4 years old. But I want an alt art Quaxley, Gold Star, shiny, whatever, some kind of fancy thing with Quaxley. That's what I want. Rhyhorn is German and hasn't heard of it and says his government is stupid. Yeah, it's it is what it is. Max asks, here's a question. How do Pokemon breed? So when one Pokemon really, really loves another Pokemon, they both go to the daycare, and you go about your business, and you come back, and there's an egg.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. You have anything to add?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Model Maynor says, do you have any Marshtomp Japanese cards for sale? I noticed you have a couple Brock's Marshtomps for sale in PSA 9. from the Manaphy movie set. I actually graded the first PSA 10 copy of that card. I'm assuming he's talking to you?
Yeah. I just have the ones that are listed on eBay right now. Those actually came from someone who's consigning them, and he had a decent bit of those those movie cards. We're getting towards the end of them though now. But yeah, he had a decent bit that we've been selling off every week. But what's on eBay right now are the only ones that I have. Aside, I think that's the last copy I have actually too. But I don't think I have any more of those.
Um, Dark Lava Lizard asks, if you want to make mad stonks on MetaZoo, which promos do you need to buy and hold, and how much will Dan sell them to me for? I like the blister promos from UFO. It's my wholesale cost on the blisters is like pretty low, and I'm selling like the promos from the blisters for $4.99 shipped, when the retail of a blister is like $4.99. Like the whole, I'm gonna get into it on Saturday, but the boxes retail is $140. I can't sell for less than that being a partner. Certain items though, like breaking them down, there's good EV breaking things down. Even though I can't sell the boxes or the spell books, but there's a mini T-Rex promo. There's he's got like a little Halloween costume thing going on with a witch's hat. That's pretty cool. My son likes it a lot. I'll sell them to you for $4.99 shipped on eBay. They're up there right now.
What a guy! Where's our PokeFlipz subscriber discount?
Yeah. Have you actually? While you bring that up, have you ever used the coupon feature? You can actually make a personalized coupon code. You can set it up so that it's a one-time use, or you can set it up so that it's unlimited use. You can set it up so that it applies to only certain categories. Limits to like 10% off, but maximum of $10. You ever use those and send them out to like repeat buyers or?
No, there's so much of that stuff that you can do that I haven't tried yet. I feel like those would be a good one to try, but no, I haven't tried those yet.
One thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to make a note so I remember to do it before someone else steals it from me. I'm going to make a coupon code, post it on Instagram, and just say like, have at it. Here's a 10% coupon code, affiliate link to the old eBay. It's applicable for anything. 10% off, maximum of $20 or something. And maybe even occasionally do 20% off, maximum of $20. That way you can save a decent bit on a cheaper card, but you can't buy like $1,000 card for $200 off. I think just doing that on like a weekly basis, it would be a good way to get those affiliate link clicks, to save some people money who are supporting me and subscribing to me cross-platform. Maybe even drop one just in the YouTube community post. So I haven't seen anyone do that. When people start doing it, you heard it here first. It was my idea. They stole it. But common thing is like Rusty posts stories all the time. Scott posts stories every so often during his blocks. You said you do the same thing. You pick 5 or 10 items from your auction block and you just link those. I mean, that's smart too. But
yep,
doing like a coupon code, I think that could be fun as well to utilize that feature.
That is a good idea. I'm gonna have to get going on that right after this and say it was my idea.
Yeah, the problem is like we're gonna end at 4:30. I'm gonna be doing family stuff for 4 hours, and Nick's gonna be working for another hour and a half. He's gonna have his story out, and he's gonna claim that I copied him. You heard it here first, though.
Of course.
Question from David, if you want to go ahead with that one.
Do you plan to collect any of the new TCGs just for fun? Just bought some cards from One Piece and My Hero Academia. I love them. I do not. So I I I got into MetaZoo a little bit. I'm just keeping one booster box and one theme deck from each set. Aside from that, it's mainly just Pokemon for me. I tried to get into the 2022 top Star Wars Finest set when my distributor actually sent out an email offering that, but it sold out very quickly, and I didn't get any type of allocation. But aside from that, I just stick with Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon and MetaZoo for me. If and when I branch out into more things, non-Pokemon, non-MetaZoo, I'll probably be more prone to going like into coins or something that I have past experience, past nostalgia for. I actually have like inventory for that too. I have a lot of coins from when I was younger, a decent amount of coins left from when back in 2009 through 2014ish. I was probably doing coins, and then Pokemon took over. So I'd get into that. I bought like 3 or 4 cases of My Hero Academia because I heard people talking about it, and it has gone up. I've done all right on that. But anytime I like divert my attention from the long list of things I have that I need to do and should be doing, I need to stop. I need to stay focused.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much that you could go after.
Yeah, quite a few messages again. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, 0x262E, bruh, you forgot about Umbreon. Oh, Steel's a good one. Yeah, a Steel evolution would be cool. That one left my mind. A lot of people saying Ghost would be cool. Flying would be interesting. Bug evolution. Fighting Rock. How do you think the Sun and Moon era will stack up compared to Sword and Shield in the short to medium term? I'm seeing a lot of Pages accounts selling tag team cards, and they always seem to move fast.
For the short term, I think Sun and Moon will definitely outperform Sword and Shield just because of the how much more Sword and Shield was printed versus Sun and Moon. But in the long term, I think Sword and Shield will do better than Sun and Moon, just because of how many good sets we've had within Sword and Shield compared to Sun and Moon. Like Sun and Moon, the only like standout sets for me, Cosmic Eclipse and Hidden Fates. Aside from that, there's really not like any other super good sets. I guess Shining Legends, that would be the third one for me. But Sword and Shield, Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, Celebrations, even Chilling Reign. I like Chilling Reign.
Yeah, to me, it comes down to the whole supply is a lot higher, but the demand should be higher because more people got in during it. It's hard to come up with. I would lean towards Sun and Moon doing a little bit better too because of like its age. Sword and Shield sets are still largely in print, almost all of them. Like Sword and Shield base is what, just over 2 years now. So all of those things are just much more prone to getting very, very short-term reprints. So that's a risk on that end. That end. Poison was another one. Normal type would be a little weird just because Eevee's normal type. But yeah, Poison is a little weird feeling too, just because Poison in my mind goes so close to Grass, but I guess to be fair, Bug does too. It's weird because like in the video game, there's a lot more diversity in types, and then they lump Ghost and Psychic into Psychic. They lump Bug, Poison, and Grass all into Grass for the TCG. So it's a little weird there. Shiny Lightbulb 1000 asks, are the purpose of chase cards to encourage people to open product distribute the singles to players, and then the opener can sell/keep the chase card? That's an interesting question. Pokemon definitely wants two things. They want to sell a lot of products, and they want a lot of it to be opened, I think. Not because they care about long-term prices of the sealed product to go up, but they want people like opening it and enjoying it. They want people consuming it in as many ways as possible. So when you put like a 1 out of 1,000 packs, that really does get a ton of bulk out there. Maybe with Evolving Skies, they overshot it a bit because they tanked the bulk market down to 1 cent a piece or less, but Pokemon really doesn't care about that too much either. They care about it to the extent that if bulk stays too low for too long, it might discourage mass box breaks, because when you're opening 1,000 boxes, the cards being 6 cents versus 1 cent, there's a big difference there. That's actually very relevant to a lot of mass box openers, and there's like a long-term equilibrium that's found between the bulk price and how much product gets opened and how much gets printed and all that. Like, that's a fairly delicate equilibrium that needs to be maintained, I think. So it's an interesting theory and behind all the optimization of that. Like I've said it many times, PSA has a very easy job to handle the long-term equilibrium of supply and demand when it comes to grading, because they lower or increase the cost of grading to lower and increase the prices. With Pokemon though, they need to do it all 6 months ahead of time, because they have to place orders with the suppliers and the manufacturers, and they need to deal with like how many chase cards should we have printed total, what should be the pull rate. Like, it's a very, very complex optimization problem Pokemon has. PSA, it's easy. There's some of my just random thoughts around that question. Really good question.
That is a good one. I would definitely say that's a part of the reason why they include these chase cards, is to encourage people opening product and all that. I don't think Pokemon wants people to buy sealed product and just hold on to that sealed product. I think they do want people to actually open the product and collect the cards and play the game and all that stuff.
Pokey Martin says we need a PokeFlipz tag team card.
There we go. We could have Ninetales and Charmander together.
Yeah, we had a question about the UPC. We answered that a couple times. It all comes down to how much they supply. If allocations are tight, it's going to rocket to the moon. If they print a ton of it, it's probably still going to be decent if you're getting in at wholesale or retail pricing. I do need to do a follow-up video on this. Danny asked, what happened to your $20 PWCC submission? I wanted to wait, and I think I did 25 or 50 cards. I wanted to wait until all of them were auctioned off and paid for, and I had all my money from it, so I could do a full spreadsheet breakdown. That takes a long time. I think I just recently got my final deposit, so maybe it'll be Monday's video, doing a breakdown of that, but it takes months. From the time that you send it to them, they get graded, they get sent back, put in auction blocks, paid, and then paid out. It's a very slow process, but I probably won't use it anymore. TLDW. If you don't end up watching my video, I probably won't use it anymore, just because I'd rather grade it myself through CGC directly and then sell it as buy it now instead of auction.
I actually forgot about that whole experiment. That'll be an interesting follow-up video.
I have a couple videos.
How much money you lost.
Oh, I made money, never punished. I have a few videos out there that I have on my list that I still need to follow up on, but I haven't forgotten. I'm just taking a while to get to them. Some of them not my fault, some of them my fault though too. Pokey Martin's got a question, if you want to take that one.
I've always wanted to ask, why do people cover up their PSA cert numbers on some listings? I have no idea. That does not make any sense to me, especially if you cover up the cert number but not the little barcode. That's just stupid. But people do it to prevent people from like stealing their cert number to make a fake case and stuff like that, I guess. But to me, it just seems like you're trying to hide something. I really don't understand why people do that. I would never recommend people doing that for really. I can't think of a good reason why you would do that.
Yeah, I think to some extent anonymity and privacy would be potentially part of it. Like if you do a submission yourself, say you have 20 of a super rare obscure card, someone can go to the pop report, cert lookup, and they can look at the cards before and after your card, and they can see your entire submission. So I don't do it personally. I show my whole submissions on YouTube, so I don't really care. But some people might do it for that reason. If I just graded some new like low pop thing, do I want you to see that I graded 5 more of them beside it on either side? Valid or not, that's just a reality that some people hide it for that reason. Another reason, with social media, if you post all your buys, some people want to sell a card and don't want others to know they sold it. So they tell the buyer, like, hey, if you're going to post this anywhere, post it without the cert numbers because I don't want people knowing that I sold my X card. That's probably a thing to some extent too. I don't hide them. I always show them. I'm an open book, fully transparent when it comes to about everything. So those are just some reasons why people do. Losty asks, do you have any sets that you think are underrated? I've always liked Dark Explorers. I think largely most sets are appropriately rated. The market is... The market misses on quite a few things, but generally speaking, it's pretty decent at valuing things close to their proper range. But WotC first edition PSA 9s are like wholesale underrated to me right now in this current market. Not wholesale, I mean largely though, almost all of them.
Yeah, definitely. First edition WotC haulers for sure. But yeah, aside from that, I was looking into Hidden Fates the other day just because someone was asking about pricing on that stuff, and the ETBs that we bought like a year back have not done anything. They're like still like 140, 150 range, which that kind of surprised me. I thought those would be worth a little bit more by now. There is a lot of Hidden Fates out there, but I do think that is one of the best modern sets that we've had in a long time.
eBay affiliate links, I'm not sure if that's US only or if it's worldwide. Do you know?
I know it works in Canada. I don't know about anywhere else though.
Stuart asks, have you noticed eBay is now restricting words for CGC singles, i.e. you can't use the word lot and sell a lot of 3 cards listed in singles category, so you can use eBay standard envelope?
I did notice that. They've been making a lot of changes recently that I don't like. That being that one's not too bad. It is a pain when you're selling like a say like the legendary bird trio. You're selling all 3 of those together, and if it's like, well, I guess that wouldn't be a good example because of the pricing. But if it's something like that where the pricing is below $20 and you want to ship eBay standard envelope, you've got to be careful with your item title so you can include it within the individual card category. So that's kind of a pain right there. And then the other thing which we mentioned, I think I mentioned it in your live yesterday. eBay just started. They got rid of their old listing format. They finally switched everyone over to the new listing format, which the new listing format, I liked it a lot when I originally tried it, and then it got like glitchy on me, so I switched back over to the old one, and then they kicked me off of the old one and brought me over to the new one, and now that I'm back on the new one, I really don't like it because it's so glitchy for me. Hopefully they're able to fix that and make that better, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
I've got to go in like 5 minutes, so probably going to call it there for questions. Cam brought up a question on that. We're like 10 minutes behind, so we're going to rapid fire a few. Any market premium on Hollow Shift Shadowless cards?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
What is the market premium?
Is the market premium? I would say 4 times.
Sounds
I
good
have
to
no
me.
idea.
I'm not an error guy. Max asks, how's your booster pack collection doing? Watch your video where you missed some WotC variants. He mentioned earlier he's missing some unlimited English base. Or it's not unlimited base. Non-English.
Yeah, foreign.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Still, I got to do an update video on that. I've added a lot more since that video, so I'll definitely do an update video at some point.
Could you guys see another Hidden Fates reprint? My guess is no, but it would be within the Evolving Skies probably, or not Evolving. It would be within the Evolutions time frame probably if they did one today. So it's not like anyone who tells you 100% can't happen is wrong, because it has not that it's been a common thing, but historically, I mean, Evolutions is probably in that window where it happened. So anyone telling you 100% either way is just guessing. I would guess not, though.
I would strongly guess not.
Dan Von Hall said Nick likes Chilling Reign, but not the Declaration of Independence. LMAO. Here's a good question. What if you want to buy a card you're selling on consignment?
It's only ever happened once, where there was something that I wanted to buy that came in on consignment. I ended up just offering the seller, who the consignee, what the last sold was on eBay minus my commission. So he ended up making a little bit more than what it would have sold for on eBay if it sold for around the same price. But yeah, it's only ever happened once, but that's what I would do.
I think Rusty's talked about he's done similar. They've sent it in. They wanted to send it to consignment. He just makes an offer. If they agree, he pays. If they don't, he auctions it as they wish. So the Comet K asked me, what's the EV on a MetaZoo UFO box? Check back to my channel Saturday. I'll have a full video on that. Cam says, PWCC CGC is atrocious, more expensive, took longer to grade than bulking yourself. My auctions did terribly, and I still have weeks until my final payout, assuming my last 4 cards get paid for. So Cam, I presume then that the Never Punished podcast will be being renamed since some punishment was delivered, seems like. We had a bot come in again. I handled that one swiftly.
I didn't even notice that one. You were on top of it.
I've got my chat where I'm highlighting messages over here. I've got my live chat over here. 2 screens. So here's Cam. Yeah, have you guys been forced into the new eBay listing process? It literally takes me 3 times longer to list cards. That's got to be miserable at the scale that James and Cam are doing consignments. I hate being anti-change because it's normally just a gut take reaction, but this sucks bad. I have next to me, and I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. I have like 500 cards just next to me. Nick saw them when he was here, and I haven't listed one. So I have a lot of listings to do, and I'm going to probably triply wish now that I had done them promptly. I haven't done any. I have a lot to do. I'll probably be trying it tonight or tomorrow for the first time in I haven't done a listing in probably a month. No, I lied.
You're in for a treat, Dan.
Earlier this week, I did a couple MetaZoo promos, singles, and it wasn't different then. Was it different Monday, or was it just like today?
No, it just started yesterday for me.
Okay, so I didn't do any since yesterday, I don't think. So yeah, I'll try that tomorrow and report back, I guess. So yeah, we're caught up with chat. I said no more questions. We are at 429. So Cam says, I literally stopped listing cards on my own eBay because I got swapped to the new format a couple months ago. Just pray that I didn't get swapped at work. So yeah. eBay's punishing you now too. You got punished by PWCC CGC. Now you're getting punished by eBay.
It's not right.
But yeah, with that, let's wrap it up here because it's family time. I'm not looking towards working overtime. DeGreen says 480p. We should be 720p. I'm pretty sure I set it up right. We should be 720p right now.
Hope so. Hope so.
But yeah, 2 weeks. It will be August 25th, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be live with special guest Churlocker, Charlie Collects, Charlie. Feel free to leave comments below on this live when it gets posted and turns into like a regular video that you can comment on. We can answer those the same way I did the others at the start. If you're here live though, feel free to come back in 2 weeks live. Charlie will be a great guest to have. Great wealth of knowledge. Anything else to add in closing?
No, that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. I definitely was not expecting the amount of viewers that we got, so that was really cool. But yeah, be sure to check back with us in 2 weeks for our 38th podcast with Charlie. And until then, hope you have a good couple weeks, and hope to see some of you in Long Beach.
I just got to say it real quick because my burner account said, turn the stream off. No unpaid overtime here. And then Professor Oak said, burner account. I know that's you, Dan's wife. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I think it was my special guest from yesterday. Definitely not my wife. But yeah, with that, the wife's probably getting home from work. Time to go see the kids and the wife. And hope everyone has a great rest of their night. We'll do our normal highlight next week. Charlie as a guest in 2 weeks. Really appreciate everyone hanging out. Thanks, your average player. Like and subscribe. Thanks again to Rusty. If you're listening back to this afterwards, or if you're listening still from the raid, thanks for that. We will catch you all later.